Hello, welcome back to the Moth Dungeon for the first trip of 2018. And it is actually episode 24, and it is unprecedented circumstances. Both me and Miss Stu, we have both been accused of being what I can only describe as fat bastards by our wives. We have both been put on diets, I've been put on a no alcohol diet. You've been put on a red wine only diet.
Yes, that's all I'm having. That's just red wine. Apart from tonight,
we're sat at the table in the Moth Dungeon, and the only liquid on the table is Stu's empty coffee mug.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
There's a slug in it. This is going to be unprecedented. The first Geno 52 sober.
If you're expecting a better show, less swearing.
No. It's going to still be utter shite, but I'm actually sober and slightly offended. Anyway, hello everybody. My name is Tom, as you probably all are aware, and I'm sat in the Moth Dungeon with my lovely colleague Stu.
Yeah, I'm wasting away over here.
Fuck me, you've dropped more weight than I have, and the problem is the diet. The problem with the diet is the wife doesn't realise that I leave gaming on a Tuesday and Thursday night, and I have to drive past KFC on the way home. And I've worked out I can buy 2 mini fillet burgers and eat them before I get home, driving down the motorway. So that's become like, I've had a busy night gaming, and I didn't have much tea. So yeah, I'll go and get 2 mini fillet burgers. I'm eating 4 mini fillet burgers a week at the moment.
Trying to explain mayonnaise in the beard.
And she wonders why I'm not dropping any weight. But I did fucking. So she makes me lunch most days. She goes off to work because I tend to go out to site, come back at lunchtime to let the dog out. So I'll have some lunch home and then go back into the office. And she's been making me sandwiches and stuff. It's great, nice sandwich. Anyway, so it's January and it's come to the end of the month and I haven't been paid for fucking ages. So I've had to scrape some lunch together. Fucking little fucking Tupperware pot, couscous, salad, and a little bit of fucking salsa on top. And it's like, that's not lunch. I wouldn't feed that to the dog. And I'm looking around the house and I'm like, there's literally nothing else in the house to eat. We run out of food because it's just, it's the end of the month. It's like, there's nothing to eat. And I was sat there today eating my couscous and salsa going, this is fucking miserable, isn't it? I fucking hate January.
I've been on the Ryvita for lunch.
Ryvitas.
Cutting down the carbs, cutting down the fats and the carbs.
You might as well just eat the fucking cardboard fucking cordial boxes there.
I'm fine. I'm coping. Where I struggle would be evenings when I want to have a couple of biscuits and a big glass of milk before I go to bed, that kind of stuff.
That
or
the
beer and stuff. Hence, if I do drink, it's going to be red wine for a couple of months. But yeah, I don't mind that much. I've always got loads of food in the house. In fact, we've got too much. We've got so much left over from Christmas, and every fucker bought us chocolates for Christmas as well.
I know you can't eat any of it.
We can't eat any of it, and we're going to have a cheat day each week when we just eat all the calories for the rest of the week where we haven't had. It makes no fucking difference anyway. Anyway, the exciting lives of
middle-aged fat bastards.
Yeah. I've never been on a diet before, so I'm disappointed.
I get these like every 4 or 5 months because what the wife does is she's an enabler and she's really bad for feeding. Like, if you ever come round to ours, like, people pop over. Like my friends pop over. My mate Nick popped over the other day just to drop in and say hello. There's fucking, here's some cheese and biscuits out, and it's not even the fucking Christmas food. She's just, someone's here, so I must put food out for everybody to eat. And I'm like, I've got to eat it now.
Yeah, it's my lunch. I'm going
to
have
my fucking
lunch.
Have
couscous for lunch tomorrow.
Fucking eat it all. But she's such an enabler. So, but then she gets cross because I'm fat, and so she put me on a diet for 3 months. And then I'll just spend 3 months eating back up again, and then she'll don't make me diet again. I am not Beachbody ready this year.
No, never mind.
Anyway, more interestingly then, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I don't know. It seems like it's still Christmas, but then it seems ages ago. It's been a bit
weird.
It's been I've just been busy with boring stuff like trying to buy houses still, and that's still going on. That should be happening soon now.
I heard you just putting an order in for some more bathrooms, aren't you?
Yes.
Holding out for more bathrooms.
Yeah. Well, we stopped buying one house that had 3 bathrooms, and then we made a mistake. We bought another one that's got 3 bathrooms. So,
you really wanted the 4th.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to keep the cats in for the first month or so.
Yeah. So technically,
if we put the litter down, that'll be the 4th.
Just don't have a shit in it. They really don't like that.
I imagine Jacob will probably be having a shit. Parents in the wars there. My 3-year-old uses a toddler. Yeah, parenting wars. My toddler has decided he walks in at 6 o'clock in the morning. He wants to watch Thomas the Tank Engine or something on the iPad. So at that time in the morning,
fine, whatever, watch it.
Yeah, here's my iPad. Watch Thomas the Tank, and then he just starts hitting the selected videos or suggested videos, and he's got obsessed with watching unboxing videos of children's toys. And I was thinking, why would you do that? I think, oh, fucking, I do that, don't I?
You watch unboxing videos of models.
But yeah, so my address will be at the end of the show for people who want to send out the parenting award for letting my child just watch YouTube.
You're literally watching letting your child watch other children get toys and not giving them
some
to
of
them.
there's people who've got channels with like millions of subscribers, and they're giving their kids like not just you're talking about a little bit of toys. You're talking about like a whole van load of toys, filming it for a 90-minute video, saying here's another toy, here's another toy, and they're all donated obviously because it's advertising.
Yeah.
But these kids, how are they going to learn the freaking
no value of anything?
Scary stuff. But anyway, I still let him watch it just to say this is what you can't have.
Fucking children, old men don't like change.
No, we've had to watch out because I watch other stuff on the iPad as well. I watched Hellraiser last night. I don't want him scrolling through things I've watched. Recommended for you.
Yeah. Daddy, why has this man got pins in his face?
So how not to be a good parent. Control your child and get an extra half an hour's dozing in bed in the morning for use of electronic devices.
I lived on it. It's the only way to do it. I still do. Except my one now, she's got her own phone and you can't fucking get her off it because she's 13 and the thumbs don't stop moving. Who are you texting? So-and-so. What the fuck have you got to say? You've been talking for 3 hours. And then I look at my phone and see all the fucking messages coming in talking about toy soldiers. And I'm like, yeah, shut up, can't talk.
What else have we been doing?
There's lots of lovely Death Guard around here.
Yeah. So I'm going up to Warhammer World in about a week's time from recording to drop some off for one client and might be purchasing a few bits and bobs there for New Year armies.
Of course, you're going to be buying stuff.
Well, I had a few vouchers for my birthday, so
something big might be arriving.
Yeah. Well, the wife knew I wanted a Warhound or wanted a Titan, so she's given me enough vouchers to go. She didn't trust herself to order it herself. So
which is fairly sensible.
She's given me the vouchers to. She did say I nearly bought one, and she said, but some of them are a bit cheaper. They're about 150. I was like, oh, she nearly bought me a night. Thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
Not going to be wrong with receiving a night, but when you want a Warhound,
she'd have been annoyed for not getting the right thing as well, which would have been which is a pain in the arse.
So I might pick that up when I'm there. I might just get it ordered because it's obviously over the free shipping. And I've got loads of 40K.
I tell you what, Chip will want you to fucking order it with him so he can get the free shipping for the Incom order.
No, I'll if I order it that way, then maybe depends when he's ordering it because I don't want to have to wait ages. But and then there's 74 inventory there for the first part of a 30k Death Guard commission.
That's a lot of infantry.
That's for Phil. I think Phil listens. So
what you got there? You got 3 squads of vets.
There's 1 vets, two normal tack.
Heavy flamer squad, missile launchers, grave. How many grave wardens? So 10 grave wardens over there.
There's 10 grave wardens.
Fucking hashtag Dave Wardens.
Yeah.
What's the ones with the size you got?
Oh god.
Death Shroud.
It's Death Shroud.
So another 10 Death Shroud.
Yeah.
Moritat and some consoles.
I mean, I don't know if that's a list he's running before anyone starts thinking, because I've got enough stuff still in boxes for 2 more stages. It probably takes him up to about 4,000 points. So I think this is like painting his collection. But yeah, there's a Moritat and there's a Chaplain and a Forge Lord and a Praetor as well. So,
and I mean, they're only up to your usual shit standard, you know.
Yeah, they are only tabletop.
Only tabletop.
They are my tabletop standard for legionaries.
Do you know what? If I could knock 74 infantry out to that quality, I'd be a happy man.
They're quite fun. I mean, it's a forgiving kind of paint scheme when you're painting the creams and whites, and you're able to make them.
You like painting cream, though, don't you?
I do like painting cream. Yeah.
Not painting with cream.
Oh, sorry, it's my diet kicking in there. I was thinking, oh god,
fucking cream.
It's going to be an awesome. I'm looking forward to the next stage. So the next stage is a few tanks and Mortarion, and then I've got some more tanks for the third stage.
You've got another Mortarion sat down here as well.
That's the 40k one that I'm dropping off next week. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been so busy with when you're painting 74 inventory. It's quite a time-consuming.
I've noticed you've been busy because I haven't heard from you much lately. Yeah, you've been fucking busy.
So I put a few hours in. I did. Probably put in like how many hours did I work yesterday? I put in about 16 hours on them yesterday with a break for dinner and putting my son to bed. So I'm enjoying it, but I really wanted to finish them last night, and it got to midnight, and I thought, fuck, I've still got to do all the chipping to do and a bit of rust weathering and then the bases to finish. So I thought
it's too much to do.
That would have taken me to 4 a.m. probably, so I'm going to be finishing them off over the weekend, probably Sunday evening. But they'll be done then. And then it's loads more stuff. I've got so much work on between now and Tarsus, including doing some terrain. I'm I'm going to be lucky if I get to do any of my own hobby. I think my only thing I'm going to try and stretch myself to do is finish those few servo automata off.
Yeah. Get your solar
and the
sort of
engine
running.
sears, so that they're sitting there on corks. I'll try and get those done because it's not a massive amount of painting. I think if I grab about 3 hours, I can probably get those done. So I'll try and do those. So I feel like I've finished some of my own hobby in the first 2 months of the year, and then I'll be cracking on with my proper next army. But that's me. What about you? You've done a bit more hobby of your own hobby, haven't you?
I had a bit of a quiet tail end of after recording with Christmas and stuff, but I needed to get kick-started. So I finished I don't know if I'd finished the Goliath last recording, maybe not. But I finished my Necromunda gun because I was like, I think I was saying to you, I just need to finish something. I hadn't finished anything in ages. I was actually, when I look back at the pictures I've taken, I hadn't finished a model since I finished the Avenger, which was like end of November. So I'd been bitty, so I was like, I finished those because they were nearly done. I smashed them out, and I'm starting our Necromunda campaign in 2 weeks from recording now. So I was like, get them done, they're done, then I can play Necromunda. I'm fucking away then. It's great. And so I got them done, and that got the bug going again then. So I started working on the Mastodon and have realised I am in an abusive relationship with this Mastodon because every time I think we're getting on and we're doing okay, it punches me in the cockhole. So I got all the interior done, that's all been painted up. Right, now it's time to fit the sides together. Bearing in mind how long I spent getting it dry fitting it to make sure it all fitted. Yeah, fucker didn't fit properly once it'd been painted, so it had to go in the hot water painted to fucking bend it back in again. I got it all lined up, epoxied it all up. It didn't fucking bond, so I had to then fucking clean it all back off. Got it all clamped up again, epoxied it again, it's stuck, and I got the top bits there, so the command module at the back and the top front plate I've been keeping. I've determined that I can still keep them off, so I can see the interior properly. So I got them, I placed them in so I could fit to it, so it got rigidity at the top and the sides, so it didn't clamp and push it in anywhere weird, so it was sat there. So okay, so I went to pop the tops off, and they're fucking stuck, aren't they? So I managed to lever them out, and it's bonded so tightly that it no longer fits in there. Which was, I was like, I'm sure I've bent physics here because I've just taken that out of there and now it won't go back in there. So I ended up having to shave the sides of it again to get it to fit. So I lost an afternoon because I can't afford the gap to get too big. I can't fill it because it just wouldn't be able to fill it properly. So I was having to shave it I'm talking like 0.5 mil at a time, and it now it fits beautifully now. It starts in exactly, but it is literally a millimetre. Talking millimetres to get it in, and it fits perfectly. But of course I lost a day then, and it's pissed me off again. So it's gone to the back of the painting desk, and it's like fuck that. And I decided to get on and finish the hoplites, didn't I? I finished the hoplites and those. Did 3 more peltasts with some arc rifles in there as well. Just to get those done, so that was nice. That's
2 units of those you got now, isn't it? Have you done?
No,
2
1
units?
unit of hoplites, 1 unit of peltasts, and I did 3 extra peltasts to go with the units with arc rifles.
And have you got any more of those to do?
No, that's it. I did have 20 hoplites, but I was fiddling around with the list with Brendan, and we were chatting, and 20 hoplites is fucking overkill. 20 haywire shots, it's just insane.
Yeah,
and they're not. I wanted to get some Vorax in. I really like the idea of running 6 Vorax, so I needed to shave points in places. And now I've got 20 extra Thors, and I basically dropped the Macquarie Explorer because when that went in the list at the start, it was quite key. But as I've tweaked the list, it's got less and less key, and it's a big points thing that actually wasn't doing a lot. So that's gone out of the list now because I haven't even started that yet. That's up for sale. I'll probably go for sale at some point because it's not going to function at any point. So I wound that in. I brought a Krios Venator and 20 Thralls to go in there. The hoplites are now on foot, and the Thralls are going in the Triaris that used to be theirs. And I've got a Magos Dominus and
so speed them up. I suppose you got the option of moving.
Yeah, I got stuff around. I haven't even played a fucking game with them. I'm already fiddling with the list, version 2 of the list. So just been tweaking those around. So that's come on. So, I
think in version 1 of list is almost the shopping list, isn't it? That you can.
That's what it is.
You can play a game with. As soon as you start playing a game, you'll go, I want to change this.
Yeah, started refining it, talking to Brendan a lot about what to do with stuff and coming up with some interesting ideas. I've been in the Skunk Works as well with the Magos. The Magos has started.
Oh, so yeah.
As Brendan pointed out as well, she's going to burn her fucking dress with that big jump pack on her back. But I've gone a little bit crazy with the Magos. So I've used the Yavani.
Keep saying the same word.
The woman with the big dress out of the old the Eldar Triumvirate set that came out with just before the end of 7.
It's an awesome model.
And she's got the little cyber cat, the little cat walking with her. So I've cybered up the cat to be a cyber familiar.
Lovely. I think that model would be really nice. Female rogue trader conversion.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Well, I slapped a massive fucking what has now been termed the Hellboy Power Fist pattern on her because she's got an Ursorax Power Fist on her and it looks massive. And I glued it on. I went, oh fuck. That looks stupid. But I then green stuffed a load of cables on, and I've got some more to go on there as well. And it looks like she's just got a massive augmented power fist now. She's going to have a strength. It's a strength. I think it's a strength 8 armor bane power fist. So it should look ridiculous. It's there for ripping the sides of tanks off.
Right.
So it looks good. I'm happy with it. And she's got a jump back on it. And when the jump pack went on, it's balanced the model a bit more.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool. It's a big old fist.
Yeah, it's a big old fist.
It's like...
I'm just going to go around fisting everybody with it now and claiming you've been fisted by a lady. Yeah, so I've been in the skunk. So I've been quite busy. I've been fiddling in bits, and I've just done the shoulder pads and metals on 5 Versaracs that will run around with her. So there's like 40. How many power fist attacks do you get out of an Ursarax? Is it 3 or 4?
No idea.
Fuck me, great radio. Let's look at this up because I've just decided I'm going to work out how many fucking power fist attacks I can do because it's going to be it's like a mega fisting squad. Where's the Ursarax? And there's be fucking mechanic and player screaming. Yeah, so they're 2 attacks each, so 3 on the charge, times 5, so that's 15 power fist attacks. I mean, they're going to die because they are bloody, they don't last, but Amagos Prime's got 2 attacks, then she's got 1 more for the charge, plus 1 for having 2 special weapons, so she's 4 attacks on her own. So 4 armor bane power fist attacks and 15 power fist attacks. Yeah,
well, it's going to get rid of your tank or 2, isn't it?
Yeah,
if you get it into something,
it's going to be hitting Terminators or anything that strikes first because the Ursarax are only armor 4.
Yeah,
and with the feel no pain.
Well, anything he gets to hit is going to kill.
Oh, he's going to mangle. But I'm hoping to, when I go into combat, tank most stuff on the 3-up invuln on the Magos.
Yeah,
that's going to be the big one. But because the Ursarax can't be instant death as well, and they got 2 or 3 wounds each. So I'm hoping they'll just outlast a little bit.
Much in the game that won't die to that? Probably not.
But me, I've got a reputation to uphold for being.
You certainly have. You're doing it well there.
Being a bit of a fuckwit, but. Taking hoplites and everything else. Fuck him. I'm gonna get a bucket for tears to collect with that army. But yeah, I've been busy, been fanny arsing about, running the Necromunda campaign. Blood Bowl season starts again, so got the gobos out, which is good fun. So I'm running around. I've got to do a corn. I didn't realise until the other day that corn demons are a legal Blood Bowl force.
Really?
So I'm getting a bloodthirster. So yeah. Anyway, no one's here to talk about my failed Blood Bowl habits where I managed to get half my team killed in a pre-season friendly because fucking goblins are squishy. Yeah, so what's been going on lately then? So we had the open day, didn't we? That was interesting. There was some interesting opinions about some Space Wolf Terminators and Praetors kicking around.
Yeah, I think we should talk about that because we haven't too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the Grey Slayer upgrade kits.
Yes, they are fucking brilliant.
Something really positive. I think they're really good. I looked at them and almost made me want to build Grey Slayers. Not enough to do the whole thing, but the paint scheme's awesome as well.
And apparently there's going to be that's only one set. There's going to be other sets coming out as well, and they're going to be different. So there's going to be like 3 sets, I think, and I'm sure they said that's like one of the sets, or maybe a couple of bits from each set there. It's not the full there's going to be so much creativity.
I suppose they just built as 10 guys, haven't they? So yeah. 5 guys.
And there's so many options that they can take on them. So I think there's going to be a real big range of...
So they're really cool.
Yeah, they're fucking brilliant.
I'm not a huge fan of the Praetor or the Terminators.
I think there's some... The issue for me, and I can't... Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody the other day about the Praetor. And the problem for me, I think we summed it up, is it looks like a test piece that you sort of get to that point and say, then give it to the sculptor and be like, right, now make that right. Because it's things like, there's no sword in his hand.
Yeah.
It just puts up. There's no pistol grip. It's like, it feels half finished.
I haven't seen the actual model apart from in pictures.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just missing because whoever's trimmed the image has trimmed it off or something.
No. His fist literally goes like that, and the gun's.
I can see in the picture, but I wonder if someone's trimmed that image.
By all accounts, he literally hasn't got anything to hold his gun on to.
I see where you're going with that. For me, it's something slightly different. Yeah. I don't think they're bad models per se.
Yeah.
If I look at the miniature, I think it's a nice looking model. Yeah. It doesn't look like doesn't fit in with any of the other models in the 30k range. It doesn't have that or 30k aesthetic. If I'd seen those pictures, I'd been out of the game for a year or something, or wasn't playing 30k, and I'd seen those pictures, especially unpainted.
Yeah.
I would have just assumed they were new 40k. Plastic Space Wolves, because I think it fits in. So I don't think they're bad models. They just don't fit in with the style and aesthetic you seem to see with the other legions. They stand out very differently. Obviously, things are going to change over time. You get new staff. Some staff leave. New
styles, new sculpts.
We've already seen that with the painters. I know I really like the new painters. I know some of the guys don't like the new because they see a bit of a change, move away from the military modelling style and more of the cleaner stuff. But I think Borja and Giuseppe and
they're learning.
Pedro,
they're definitely.
I love the
and they're definitely learning the weathering stuff now.
Yeah.
It's coming
I
in
think
more
there's a
and
nice
more.
mixture. It's painting, isn't it? It's any art is subjective, and I suppose it's the same with the sculpting. For me though, the models, they're fine. But I don't think they fit in well with the other legions and the way those models look.
They
just look like they're different game
like
systems.
The Tyrant Siege Terminators or the Suzerain. They're 50 quid boxes for 5 models. You're paying a tenner a model for them, and they look that value.
Yeah,
the style, the sculpt, they look that value. I see those 5 Terminators, and I think the same as you. I think
they just look like they should be in plastic.
Yeah, and they should be £25 a box.
Yeah,
and that's for me when you're buying a Forge, especially something that's a centerpiece model for your army. That if you're going to run a special Legion unit, that's your bit of your army that says, everything else in my army is the same as every other Legion can have, but this is my bit. This makes it my army.
Yeah.
And maybe even if you like the models, I don't think maybe the sculpts. I think it's a disappointment that. You've been waiting for your bit, like Thousand Suns have got so many beautiful models. You can just pick them up, paint them, bang, they're amazing.
All the Custodes stuff is amazing, and they all fit. They're all modern. They're all newer sculpts. But they all fit the theme.
But you're waiting for your model, your Legion, and Space Wolf players generally tend to be very passionate about their Legion. They're very keen on their Legion, and that's what you're presented with, which isn't bad. But it's not up to that level. And I think the other thing as well is where there's some really good artwork in Inferno of the Space Wolves, and especially the Varigate, and they look nothing like what they've been presented.
Again, it's the change from the normal 30k aesthetic, because those art prints look like they could have been in any of the 7 black books.
There's frustration and disappointment that there's so much good stuff out there. And I get it, you go and convert your own up. Pete's been doing some amazing Varigate stuff. He's been creating amazing stuff left, right and centre.
You can make some really, really good ones out of the Grave Wardens. Having just painted, you could easily make some really nice ones out of those. That's probably where I'd go to now. And for me, that just highlights that they look like the.
Why should you have to?
Well,
every other Legion has got their models can be used.
Yeah.
Whether you think you can do I've seen better conversions of everybody's. I've seen people do worse conversions of their own version. But everybody's units, there's nobody that really goes, nah, I won't use those at all. Like the reaction to the Space Wolves.
There's a lot.
There's a much bigger negative reaction.
I think
to these.
so.
And I think
it feels that way.
And there's a frustration that why has everybody else got good models and we've been let down? But I don't. I think
it's just the way it works, isn't it? Some people have got good rules for their special units, and some people won't play them because they've got bad rules. So it depends what's most important to you. You shouldn't have to build them. I think the people that like to build and convert
will always do
great.
It.
And I've seen some amazing ones out there. So Pete's got some amazing ones, hasn't he? It's a shame. I think. Let's hope that the Praetor's not so much of an issue for me because you don't want to see everyone with the same.
I had the same thing with the
Praetor model anyway.
Same with the Thousand Suns one. He's a beautiful model, but if every Thousand Suns army is led by him, it's going to be like
some people are modelers. They want to just even get other people.
And I guess that's probably the frustration for the Space Wolves players. If you're not somebody who's confident with kit bashing and modelling, to think, well, I can't even go and get the models off Forge World and just take those,
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at these.
You keep picking up that Grave Warden.
I'm just looking at Grave Wardens thinking if you take the exhaust things off the top and fire that down flat,
put a bit of fur on them somewhere.
They've got fur. They've got chain mail and they got some like loincloths, but you could easily turn that into fur.
Yeah, add some fur to it.
They'd be a really good show. Anyway, so it's a shame. If that was the beginning to lots of things becoming in that new style for 30k, I think you might see more people disappointed. I think occasionally you just have to. It's a shame that the 30k range doesn't really have many bad models. Most ranges have some models that aren't very good, and maybe you've just been spoilt that I can't think of a bad model in the whole range.
We've had more hits than we've had misses. I
can't think of can't think of any bad models. Yeah. And again, a lot of it's just
I always wonder about the Narek Drager, the limited edition character, who's doing that fucking... He looks like he's doing the Matrix bullet time a bit. He's leaned right back with his gun.
I don't mind that.
I don't mind it, but it always looks to me like he's unbalanced.
The only one I didn't like beforehand was the plastic one anyway. It was the Gregor model. Again, it's not a bad model. It just looks like
But again, it was the same problem. Yeah, it looked like a 40k model.
And I don't know who sculpted that. But I think it was Darren, wasn't it? Darren Latham might have sculpted
Not sure.
But anyway, so a lot of people aren't happy with those. I think it's not new news. It will be interesting to see now what else they bring out, and whether it's as good as the upgrade kits or whether it follows the style and the perceived quality of the other ones.
Yeah. So I mean, the other big thing that came out at the open day was the FAQ.
Well, there's more models first. So I think we should talk about plastic. I think we should talk about plastic custodians because they're going to get used, aren't they?
Fuck them. Fuck them.
We're going to see them, aren't we?
Yeah, I got to admit, I'm really glad there are new Shield Captain models. So we're going to see some different Shield Captains. I really like that. Personally, I'm really not a fan of the plastic jet bikes. That's just style-wise. I like the smoother style of that Forge World's got for some of the models with the kind of more... It's a more elegant style to me. It's sort of ornate and regal, but it's smoother. I think those ones look quite 40k and a bit blingy to me, but that's my personal opinion, and we are going to see swarms of jet bikes, plastic jet bikes.
And there's some Terminators there as well, isn't there? So
there's a couple of Terminator models.
We're going to be seeing them used,
but I still like I still prefer the Forge World ones to those. It's not snobbery about about resin. It's just I prefer the look of. I like this. One of the things that actually really frustrates me with the Custodes army is I really fucking like the models. I really, really do. I just wish they weren't so divisive as an army, because there are people out there who go, fuck them, I don't care, they're the Custodes, they should be the best. And there's people like me who go, yeah, they should be the best, but they shouldn't be running around all around the galaxy. And there are people like, no, they're fucking bent and broken, they should never be on the table. And it's not so much. I feel like one of the reasons I won't do a Custodes army now is because I can't be arsed with dealing with it, and that's a real shame, because I just think I'd quite like a Custodes army. I did have plans for a little Custodes army. Now I'm just like, I can't be bothered. Yeah, they're in the.
Well, it's not. It's a different picture.
Do you know what that looks like?
Here rustling. I'm flicking through Visions of Heresy because some of
the
older
fucking
artwork.
Bumper car jets. They look like a fucking bumper car.
There's definitely some different styles of.
I'm really
hoping
the White Scars get their own style of jet bike. Do you know what would be really cool?
It would make sense as a
we get Legion-specific units, a Legion-specific jet bike unit for White Scars. How fucking cool would that be?
I'd almost assume that's what's going to happen.
I'd love that. Can you imagine their own pattern of jet bike?
Or definitely an upgrade kit that was more than rather than just for the infantry model. For the rider, sorry.
Yeah.
For the bike itself.
Because it comes in two halves, doesn't it? So you could get a new front end or something for it. But
yeah, I think now, I've got nothing against any of those plastic models, and especially if someone converts them and puts some time and effort into them, I'm quite happy to see them on the table. I just thought it was interesting because I think we're going to see them.
And it's not going to slow the tide down of people doing Custodes.
No, well,
interesting. You made a comment to me earlier,
slow down.
Companies of Legends doesn't appear to have any Custodes, but I couldn't see where you found that from.
The attendees list when people are.
Is it?
Yeah,
I haven't looked at it.
There was a thread that you liked, but you hadn't given. Did you? Have you replied? Sorry, this is really good. Have you replied to the question about which force you're taking, Tom?
No.
You're one of about 2 people that haven't, I think.
Oh fuck me! I better get on that. Where is it on the company in the event or in the?
Yeah, you've liked the post on Facebook. We just didn't read it.
God, you're extremely
these bloody internet minded celebrities. They're just like yeah. No. But I didn't see any.
Toads.
Didn't see any Custodes. There was Jens's taking sisters with Imperial Fist, but it's but no one was. No, there were a few people that hadn't answered. To be honest with you, you were one of them. I think. I don't know, a couple of other people, but yeah.
No, stop the podcast until I find it. Where is it? List of participants.
Yes, there's a participant list, and then he's filled in all of the loyalists and traitors, etc., etc.
I'm not on there.
It's because you haven't answered the question. Should we?
Undeclared. No, I'm staying undeclared. I'm staying undeclared till the last minute.
Because to be fair, it'd be good if you can get your mech done and run as traitor, because there's a bit of there's a few too many loyalists, isn't there?
Yeah, but there are any toads. I don't want to face. I don't want to fight any toads.
Oh, I think your list could handle it.
No, they couldn't. They'll get picked apart. Meadows is taking Blood Angels and Talons, so whether that's sisters or not.
Oh, okay, that wasn't on there when I last looked.
Yeah, let's put the mech
so that
up.
might be one.
Hey, I've commented on this post. I know that's when I bought the ticket.
He put a separate post out asking, and now he's been filling in the date.
I did the registration.
Yeah, that was another one. This is really good radio. Sorry about this, people. I'm trying to move the cast along, but Tom's
I'm
filling
in
stuff about an event that he's going to in March.
No, I'm going to do it. I'm making a commitment. I'm committing live on podcast. I am going to bring my mech, and they will be filthy traitors. I'm going dark.
Good.
I can't spell filthy. I spelled it 2 different ways when I wrote it twice. That's it. Filthy. I can't even spell traitors. Fuck me. There we go. And I'm sober. Done. I've committed. I'm doing it.
That's good now, because it gives you a painted deadline, doesn't it?
The mech are getting done.
That Mastodon's not been touched.
That Mastodon ain't getting touched until I fucking finish this fucking mech now. So sorry, Mike. That Mastodon ain't gonna get done until I get it done. But sweet baby. So where were we? Anyway, what were we actually talking about?
New releases. So those were the miniatures releases.
Custos, yeah.
So yeah, the rulebook, the FAQ, and
so rulebook's been covered in depth by quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
RFI, as usual, have done a fantastic breakdown of
incredible
the rule changes. Go and check that out. Go and listen to that. It's detailed. The first thing I did was download it, listen to it. I've got it saved to go over it again and again until I get them in my head. I think the book is top fucking class. I think the quality. I'm so glad they took it back if they had production issues, because I'm so pleased I've got a top. It fits with the rest of my Heresy books. It doesn't feel like quick, here's a rule book. It feels like it's meant to be part of that series.
You don't want the front falling off, do you?
No.
Delamination of the books.
I really like it. There are some changes I like. There are some changes I'm not that arsed about. There's nothing in the changes that I really dislike.
No.
I don't think there's any problem. Again, gaming for me, I've said it, if it had changed to 8th Ed, I'd have still played.
Yeah.
I love the game, the setting and the narrative. I do enjoy 7th Ed. I am quite a firm. If it was my decision, I'd stick with 7th, because I like.
Well, now I think things have changed. Yeah. So, things have moved on since those arguments. Now,
if it went to 8th, I wouldn't be asked.
The game's changed.
Yeah. But there's some interesting. No more invisibility. Multi-bombing's back in.
Yeah.
New demons list. I really like the demons summoning rules. I'm hoping it will encourage people to take demons, because it'd be cool to see more demons on the field and stuff. And they've now got fearless. They get fearless, which makes them really fun. I know Callum was talking on Unremembered Heresy about it removing demonic instability and just making them, not like making them overpowered now, but just actually making them like you don't feel like your whole game plan just gets fucked because a couple of rolls on demonic instability screws your army over. It'd be nice to see more demons. I think we're moving into a later part of the Heresy where I think allied demons is not going to be a thing. I can't wait for a full demons list in Angelus. I think that'll be good. I've said it before. I think I probably will go all demons.
Yeah.
At some point, I think my first foray into a full trial list would be all demons, because if you're gonna go fucking balls deep, you might as well go all demons and just paint something really, really different.
Yeah, it'd be very cool.
I'm gonna have a Corn Blood Bowl team, so I might as well paint some more fucking demons.
Get some red.
Yeah, get some red.
Buy lots of red.
I've got blue. I can do red now. So. Yeah, I'm generally really pleased about it. I think the more interesting thing from the day was the FAQ, or supposed FAQ. So we posted, obviously Jodie sent us a message with it on, and we posted, and I did have a little wobble, think, shit, I've just posted an unverified source. But actually what we did, we managed to trace the source, and May Gelt, who is one of the Legion of Peterborough boys, messages to say it was the picture that's been circulating around was his, and he actually sent it me out of his Google Drive, so he linked it straight from him, and it is the highest quality picture I've seen. So He's got it. So I asked him a few questions about it. I said, "Is it safe to assume that these FAQ questions will stand? Or did he sort of say this is a real rough first draft?" And he was like, he said the ones that are in the question are all usable now. He's thought them through. They've been play tested. So that FAQ document that's out there is, the chances of it changing are not a lot. The ones we said. He said also, but you only saw him again about 11:30. He got 4 more things written down on his paper, like with HHR next to it. So, which is obviously he got more. So, I think they're going to be. I think he said they're doing an FAQ on the other army books at some point, but they couldn't say when, as they're still busy. And of course, working out who does what and who are answerable to who. So there's still some straightening out of who's in charge of heresy rules to do, but they did seem to be in charge there. So it was I'm going to butcher his name. Anhu Molahan.
I wasn't familiar with the name until
I knew the name, but I hadn't put it together. I know I think he's a Peterborough Greetings from the Warp Boys around that.
I recognised his name from some of the
groups.
Yeah.
I think he's MK as well. I think he's done MK, but he was. I think he's the one who's been going around. He's doing it and looking at it. But he said his friend Rich brought up Book 7 Inferno and said there were many mistakes in there. And the guy said basically it was a troubled time in the studio. It was a hard time for the studio, which we knew. We knew it was. They were trying. And they were working very hard to get, and they are trying to create a document to quote fix Book 7 before Book 8 comes out. So hopefully we'll see an FAQ document for that. But it was good. I was chatting to him.
I imagine that's just rules errors for people expecting.
I don't think we'll see points reductions. I think it'll be clarification, like Custo's jet bikes with the rule that allows them to fire 2 guns in a shooting phase. They've only got 1 gun, and
weapons with
no profile. So kind of so lots of tidying up and stuff like that. But
I don't think, as much as you'd like to see that kind of detail, I'd rather that they got.
I'd just get it functional. I'd like to get Book 7 functional,
updated Legions Red Book, and an updated Armyless Red Book.
There's been a lot of talk about updating the Legions books and stuff, but the Mech haven't had an updated book, and they've got tons of stuff that's not in their book.
Well, you need to do them.
The Mech Red book needs doing. Maybe the Human and Militia books don't need doing.
No, it'll be fine.
So is the Greg Dan stretcher model in the Mech in the Humans book? I don't think it is. So I think that's about
the one thing.
That's the only one thing. Yeah. Legions, they've only got a couple of tanks that aren't in there now, and and you've got the rules for White Scars, Blood Angels, Dark Angels that are in Book 6, but I don't think they'll be worth putting into a red book.
It depends
until you've got Book 8 out.
It depends how long before they think that a White Scars book's going to... Because you could release a red book a year after or 6 months after Book 8's out, but you'd still be missing one Legion. It depends whether they want to...
I could see a mech book coming out. A new mech movie, the generic Legion book maybe getting an update, but then that was the last book updated. Then Book 8, then we get the Legion special.
So where would you put Talons? Would you put that within the
in the bin?
But where would you put it though? What?
I think that would probably have to go in with the Humans, a revised Humans
there's
book.
There's probably space in it.
Yeah, because you've got Mech and Knights.
Yeah,
Mech and Knights, Humans, and then 2 Legion books. So you could go Mech and Knights, Humans and Custo, Humans and Talons, 2 Legions.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep it to 4 books.
It'd just be interesting to see whether they're going to wait till after Book 9 and then do it. Because there'll be 4 books then worth of rules that aren't in any red books that people are carrying around to gaming days and stuff like that.
I think the Mech had to wait 4 books before they got their red book, and it was
because it was spread, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was spread
quite a few books.
But I could see. I wonder if there's enough scope for an agents book, so you could have Talons, Knights Errants, and then odd models like the Davenite Lodge Priest and the Navigator. And maybe some other bits maybe in there that those odds kind of
even out of push stick black shields and
black shields,
and dark compliance stuff in there as well.
Well, dark compliance is just based off a standard army list though. But black shields
stick
definitely.
It anywhere you could.
Black shields and then the 2 themes, the Shattered Legion and the Dark Compliance themes in there.
They're all army list creating rules.
Yeah.
So
you could have like an others book. So it's Talons, Knight Errants, Navigators, Davenite Priests, Black Shields, and then the theme copies for Shattered Legions, Armies of the Dark Compliance.
Yeah, as much as it'd be nice to have a Legions one, you wouldn't really want it, and then another year later just adding White Scars in, would you? You'd almost
Whether they hold that book for the last 4, but do we know we're getting definitely getting Blood Angels and Dark Angels, aren't we? Yeah, only leave Scars. So I don't know.
Scars, yeah.
To be honest,
who knows? But this book's a move forward anyway.
Yeah, that book's fantastic. We now have a core rule book. Hopefully, we'll have a good FAQ to sort them out.
I don't think they screwed up too much either. I mean,
they screwed up big time on the reference
sheet.
Yeah, strength 10 versus anything is now a 3+.
I don't know how that happens with a chart that's been used for God knows how many years.
You're better off shooting with strength 9 now. Because I'm going to fucking enforce that. But in general, the quality of the book's fucking brilliant.
Lots of people have said it. I like the fact that they've done more than I expected them to.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were going to go in and
change the I think they had to change the pictures.
I didn't think they were going.
I think they had to.
I would have scanned over it. But yeah, I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they went and changed the diagrams. And some of it looks digital. Some of it looks like new pictures completely. Especially for the line of sight pictures and stuff. We knew they were going to put nice heresy artwork in. But the way it's laid out seems to be a little bit...
Considering that's the same cost as what the 40k rulebook that size used to be, that is a much better quality book.
Yeah, beautiful. So. Very, very happy with it. And let's hope now that Heresy is big enough that they can, in the future, do a second edition where they do what they want with it. And if that means bringing in some stuff from 8th that works...
Like I said, I think I'm a champion of... if it's the same strength, it's 4. If it's better, it's 3. If it's double, it's 2. That's the same in Necromunda, and it makes life so much fucking easier. And that to me,
I don't think we will now.
That to me is streamlining a game.
I think this will be it. With how much they have going on in that studio,
it all depends.
And the focus should be and will be on the models and those black books and making sure the rules. I think this is going to be the rules for a very long time.
If the black book goes on to 15 to 30 books, we might see version 2. If the black books are going to end around by 15 books, I don't think there'll be another rule book out. But who really cares?
Yeah,
we got a good working rule set.
We know where we are with it.
Cool. I think that about wraps up the intro bit. We're going to take a little break, and I think we're going to come back with some listener messages then.
Geno52 is sponsored by Incom Gaming, the new centre for tabletop wargaming in Gloucestershire. Visit incomgaming.co.uk for great savings on pre-orders and all your hobby needs. We stock many gaming systems and hobby accessories and can ship to anywhere in the UK. Incom Gaming is the only UK stockists of the market-leading gaming mats from GameMats.eu. Visit the store and check out how to turn your tabletop into a battlefield. Incom Gaming is based in the centre of Cheltenham and offers tables and scenery for casual and organised play with a fully licensed bar. Check out our events page for upcoming events where everyone is welcome. Save an additional 10% on Games Workshop Heresy products by using the code GENO52 at the checkout. Visit incomgaming.co.uk and help fight the betrayal. Incom Gaming. Come game, shop, drink. To shop elsewhere is heresy.
Right, welcome back then, guys. We have some listener messages to go through. So some people have contacted us via various messages. I mean, some emails. I mean, email's really popular nowadays, isn't it? I think you have to be on email, really, don't you? But yeah, so we had some listener messages.
What, as opposed to what? Telegram?
No, I'm telling jokes that I'm hoping somebody gets. And it might only be one person, but I don't care. It's amused me. So yeah, we've had some listener messages. So first one comes from James at Tabletop. Oh, he's Tabletop War James. He's requested some list advice, so I've given him the usual response of going to speak to somebody who can play the game. But we'll give it a go. He's got a 3,000 point Iron Warriors list running Hammer of Olympia, so he wants to put on the table Tartarus Warsmith with all the usual crap, but he's got a servo arm and a Cortex controller because he's a Warsmith. Damocles Command Rhino, then he's got 15 tax, Artificer Armor, Power Fist on the Sergeant, Metal Bomb. They've got their extra chainswords, Excella, Vox.
Times 3,
yeah. And then 3 Apothecaries with Artificer Armor.
I wonder where they're going.
Yeah, one of each of them. 3 Dominator Iron Circles. So, from what he's told on the email, they go in with the Warsmith.
Mm-hmm.
3 Quad Launchers with Shatter Shells. 3 Land Speeders, standard Land Speeders with Grav Guns and Multi-Melters, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
10 Iron Havocs with missile launchers, charged with artificer armor, an augury scanner, a Scorpus, 2 Medusas, and yeah, that's 2,995. So
yeah,
thoughts?
There's nothing super unexpected there. I think the land speeders in an Iron Warriors thing is something that gives it a slightly different.
I've seen a few of those because like Pear was running them. They've become kind of the.
Well, it's Graviton, isn't it?
Yeah, and I want to do something that's not Iron Warriors-y, so I'll take the land speeders because they don't seem to fit. But they're just not common. But
I mean, I don't know what to say. It's solid, isn't it?
It's solid.
It ticks all the boxes. That you've got a lot of iron, very very sort of Iron Warrior type long range pie plate kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's difficult. They fix the fluff. There's nothing that doesn't.
The Iron Circle will get shot dead before he gets anywhere with them.
Yeah,
because foot slogging them is not a good idea. Unfortunately, they're a bit shit because you can't transport them. They're a bit slow on the foot. Things like ZM and stuff, they're good because they're a bit monsters and they can move a bit quicker there. Yeah, it's
difficult, isn't it? Because you don't want to kind of really drill down and kind of analyse it. I think anything that's mobile is going to struggle.
Yeah,
because everything's on foot apart from his big guns at the back. So as soon as he's got something that's mobile, they're going to. Difficult. But then again, you don't know what scenario we're playing. We don't know what the battlefields are like. It's
Death Guard foot slogging. Yeah, I get Iron Warriors foot slogging. Yeah, pretty good. Any foot slogging army, anything with some artillery is going to fire in. 3 quad mortars and 3 quad mortars, a Whirlwind Scorpus and a Medusa is not going to be particularly enjoyable either A, to play or play against. It's sit at the back of the table and just start removing models. So
at least he hasn't put all his infantry behind fortifications as well.
Yeah,
then it would be really
I think it's going to be it's going to be boring because they're all really good.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. It's nice it hasn't got any phosphax, which is good.
Yeah,
but lots.
It's difficult because it really is fluffy with that army.
I'd love to see somebody really push the boat out with Iron Warriors and go something different. We see a lot of Hammer of Olympia, Iron Fire, Armoured Breakthrough. Those 3 years. I'd love to see Fury of the Ancients. Assault Marines, the sky, a jet bike one, something really different, for Iron Warriors, because Legions can do everything, and I'd love to see something because I don't think, they do have a role, they can do other things. I'd love to. Perturabo didn't like being always ground to the dirt, so why wouldn't he put in? Let's have a Sky Hunter Phalanx for jet bikes.
But we don't know. We don't know why he likes those. And
it's very hard.
That list makeup might be because he likes the fluff that describes him. Now it's impossible to tell.
If you like the fluff, do it. I'll be brutally honest. If I stood against my army, would fold under the Medusas, the Whirlwind Scorpiuses, the Iron Havocs, and the amount of pie plates and long range stuff.
I'd struggle because my stuff isn't that mobile.
Your stuff would just get hammered off the table. It will be very, very effective. It's fluffy. How much fun it will be is maybe my go and play it, build it, play it, have fun with it. You might want to then start looking at other units. What can I do to expand this? Can I do other things? I mean. Problem with the Iron Warriors is then you drop them and you put Tyrant Siege Terminators in. They do exactly the same thing. And they're very good at it. They're all very good units. It's just...
It's their playstyle. It's difficult.
It's a playstyle. I guess one of the things is you see a lot of Iron Warriors at a lot of events. I see a lot of Iron Warriors armies around. So you do... And because they do this quite well, you tend to see it a lot. So it's not a criticism. It's not a slagging off. Go and enjoy it. But I don't think there's a fat lot you can do to make that list any better. There's probably efficiencies to be made.
No, it's good. It's a good list. It's on the good side rather than the medium side.
It'll do what you want. So next up then we got Jamie Cox with his Emperor's Children. So this is a Mariscara, which when used right I think is one of the best Rite of Wars out there. It can be so effective, but he's rocking with his Praetor, all the usual crap. He's got 2 Paragon Blades, which I fucking love because it's useless. It doesn't give you any benefit other than an extra attack, but it's fucking brilliant because I love the fact that he's running around with 2 fucking swords going ha. Just fucking running around. So yeah, instantly good points there. It's got a champion on a jet bike with a Phoenix Spear and Sonic Shrieker. Now I think you have to take. No, you don't have to take the champion, do you? Can't remember from Mario. But yeah, I like Champions are a bit shit, but it's great on a jet bike. Cool as fuck. I think you might have to take it from Mario. I don't know. Fuck it. I can't be asked to look. We've already had a lot of looking in books while I should be talking. And then a Chaplain, R-Fist, Armor, Refractor Field, Sonic Shrieker, Power Fist. Yeah, all good. Then we've got an Apothecary with an Augury Scanner in the Elites, and then 7 Palatine Blades with 3 Phoenix Spears and Sonic Shriekers. All good. 2 squads attacks in Rhinos with Dozer Blades, additional combat blades, some metal bombs of Excellas. So yeah, there's your attack troops. 2 javelins with missile launchers, heavy bolters, and hunter killers. And then 6 Sky Hunter jet bikes, 2 with Volkite Culverins. So yeah, all good. 3 speeders then with gravitons and melters, all good. Dorado with a missile launcher and the autocannons, my preferred standard loadout. I do like that. Land Raider Phobos with Armoured Ceramite, and then a Glaive. He's got laser destroyer arrays on the Glaives. Probably wouldn't bother with them. I'd probably go back to the las cannons. Las cannons are better on that. And Armoured Ceramite. So yeah, what's he said? So Praetor Chaplain and Apothecary and Palatine Blades go in the Land Raider. How many's that? How many Palatine Blades did he have? 7 blades. And 8 with and three characters. So yeah, that's all good. Doing a fucking mass. Champion goes with the jet bikes. 3 fast attack slots will be hidden part of the force coming from out flank turn 2. Yeah, that's good. Whole army's fast moving, hunter killer. Yeah, okay. Dorado. Yeah, Dorado's a little slow. But I get what it means. It's anti-air. I mean, in the age of fire raptors and fucking now orbital assault.
Almost got to have it.
When you've got fucking suborbital strike winds of triple lightnings and stuff, you're gonna want some fucking firepower. So. Yeah, I actually think the Dorado's that bad. A Dreadnought to me is a faster moving platform than something like a rapier weapons battery. They do, you do hear them advancing with the infantry. Dreadnoughts tend to pound along with infantry, so I think that as he said, he got about 8k of infantry. Personally, with an 8k force, I'd stick with that list. Run it. You've got the models. You've got the scope to change your fleet. We were talking earlier about shopping lists, weren't we? When you build a list for a shopping list to buy stuff, you kind of do tend to end up wanting to know the list you're going towards is good because it's, you're going to talk in it. When you've got a big collection, kind of like I am with my Ultra Reads now, I just kind of come up with a weird list and throw stuff in there because it might mean making the odd unit here and there rather than anything else. So it gives you a bit of, you can play around with it. So yeah, you can play that list. If you go, oh yeah, I thought that didn't work, you haven't really sort of invested 6 months building that army. It might only be a couple of bits, but I really, really like it. I think it's really fast. It's really fluffy. You've got the Glaive and the Dorado coming in to provide punch at the back. It's got everything's swooping around. I really like it. I really like it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert on Emperor's Children at all, so I'm not going to try and pretend I am. But it looks fun. I do. I mean, we've been talking about some lists of something I wanted to do, and I've been talking about making it all mobile, everything, putting everything in transports. Yeah, and I like that. It's got it's something different. It's not all pod or something. I quite like that it's either hovering above the ground or on the ground, but not on foot. I quite like it. So yeah, I think it looks fun. Like you said, if he's got all the models and owns all that stuff, then just play it and have some fun.
Yeah, have some fun. Like I said, if you're building to build a force from scratch, you kind of it might be a bit more. If you've got most of those models and you're just throwing this around, go for it. Fucking whack it on the table, see what happens, and go for it. It's never a bad thing. Cool. And lastly then, we got Phil's letter. So Phil wanted to make some comments on Custodes following probably what was one of my drunken rants about Custodes at Christmas. And he makes a fair point. He says, as a Custodes or Talons player myself, I think the issue is never brought up that Custodes does not equal Talons. And yeah, he's exactly right. We talk about Custodes, but it's not Custodes, it's the Talons. So he's writing a 3k list, including 50 sisters, which is fucking brilliant. And people see Custodes as a separate list, and we talk about the Custodes list, but it's not. It's the Talons list, isn't it? So we are guilty of that. And yeah, both sides support each other. And the number of people have played and have gone, actually, these guys aren't so bad. Yeah, I think what he's saying is, so I'll paraphrase a bit because he did go through it, and I'm not trying to skip it, but if you run pure Custodes, it can be a real dick kicker, but he's of the opinion, which I kind of agree with. Actually, that army list is not designed to run as one or the other. It's supposed to be a combined force. It's supposed to be Talons, Sisters, and Custodes. And actually, when you combine the two, they're not that bad a force because you
especially at the higher points level.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
if you were running them as
but
allies
it's the commitment
or something,
to
then a smaller amount's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're going to run a 3K list, then
But I think it's a commitment, like I said, to 50 sisters. You know, he's not just put a token grenade launcher squad in there because they're good. He's put a commitment of sisters in. I mean, when you listen to Master of Mankind, you've got a sister running around with a squad of custos, and then you've got squads of sisters with a custode in them. They really do mix and mingle in the webway. I think if you said I'm going to do a webway force and did all custos, you're sort of lying to yourself a bit there, because it's not. You know, it's a webway force is custodes, sisters, mech, everything
mech as well.
Yeah, it's the whole lot. So you know, I think yeah, as I said, he wants to be a Talons player, not a Custodes player, which I think is really fair, and it is a shame. Like I said, the Talons list gets trashed a bit for Custodes, and I think actually the Sisters really add some really interesting, flavourful stuff to the list, but they're just completely overshadowed by Custodes.
Yeah, it's not the player's fault. I mean, if you take your shield, you take in multiple shield captains,
and a Tribune with a fucking reroll and everything,
then
max Heritage Guard and min troops, and
then you know as many shields as you possibly can, and then you are you just maybe deserve a little bit of criticism.
As Phil said, and I think I've said sometimes in there as well, like you can make those kind of shitty lists with legions, and mech, and everything. If you min max any of the army lists, you can come up with disgusting things. You know. I mean, I have been known to field an intercepting Typhon as Kurt. But, Typhon with interceptor, because, fuck Custodes. But you can abuse every army list, but I think the Custodes part of the Talons list doesn't require much work to get abusive. You don't have to really push it too hard to get something quite strong out of it.
Yeah.
But I think, definitely, if you run it Custodes and Sisters, I know Winless has been doing that for a while. He's been running it, but I think his has been getting more and more Custodes heavy over the last little while. But I know when we played in Jib, it was almost half and half, really. And it wasn't that bad. It was, the reason I found it a struggle when we played was I had no fucking idea what his army did. It was like, when did we go? March, and the book came out in Feb. I mean, he was still working off like photocopies of the pages because he was still trying to work his rules out. So I hadn't got a fucking clue what he. I mean, his the Cladius grav tanks, the Cronus carriers. He moved them, and like the end of the first turn, they were in my lines, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Because they moved and then flat outed, and they were skimmers. So I was like, "Fuck, they're here!" And it was like, it was like more like a. I don't really know how to deal with these boys, rather than it being anything else. But absolutely, I'm in agree with Phil. I think if you run it as a mixed list and not just a token sister squad, I think if you really commit to this is a Talons force, I want as many sisters as I've got Custodes, or more sisters and Custodes. I don't think people would have a problem. They would find it more fun.
I think it's simpler than that. I think if you really genuinely like them, and that's your reason for playing them, is because you like the fluff, you like the models, and that you're designing the list as best you can to make it as fun and as balanced to play against as the list you're coming up against. If the power level's naturally higher, it's not your fault. You didn't design the rules for them. I think that's fine. You're doing everything you can, and we will moan, we will joke about Custodes, and it's not going to go away.
It's not changing anytime soon.
You shouldn't feel guilty. I do feel for people who genuinely love these
armies. Excited about Custodes.
Some people take the stick wellers and they enjoy it, but not everyone that loves Talons is going to enjoy the criticism. I sold mine because I'm the kind of player who hates the thought of having a powerful army. That's my problem, not other players' problem. So I thought, I'm not going to use these now because they're taking so much stick. I'm going to feel bad using them. So I'm not going to take them. And I got rid of them. There's other reasons why I got rid of them as well, but it was one of the major reasons. So,
well, when you were making a commitment as to what am I going to spend my time doing,
I was thinking,
he was like, well, I'm not going to do it.
Will I use these? Will I feel bad about using them?
Well, I sold off.
I'm adding them as a power option.
Yeah, I've been selling my Custodes stuff off. I sold the spear guys off, and I've still got the shield guys.
Mine have all gone, and down the line,
but yours were on sprue and stuff as well, whereas mine were finished.
I painted a lot of them. Yeah. So, but it's who knows? Will I buy any again in the future? Maybe. Well, so depending what I'm building my hobby projects around, narrative and fluff at the moment. So that's my goal for this year. Really is it's built to build each army with a narrative and fluff around it. So if I build an army that the narrative suggests that maybe some some talons will work, then I'll add a few units, but I don't think it'll be.
I'm mainly building my list around running 60 sniper bets at the moment.
I thought that would be the case.
Just to fuck with people. I don't care anymore. I'm going to kill people. But yeah, cool. Cheers for your messages, guys. Do appreciate them. If you want to drop us a message, we're just on there. If we get your messages, we'll quite often reply anyway and chat to you, and then because sometimes because we only record monthly, it can be a long time if you're waiting for a message to be read out. But we'll chat. But go and check out Phil. He's eight hobby. The 8. It's the fucking what the Spaceballs call the Fang. AETT _
underscore hobby.
That's it.
Yeah, I would have
hobby.
pronounced it AET. Might be.
I don't know. Fucking sounds
about
right. 8. Right, break time. That's enough. See you later.
Lord Marshal Grade, sir. Legion reinforcements now visible on the left flank.
About time. The wolves, I see.
No, sir. Ultramarines, sir.
But they're wearing grey, Proclamator Fennec.
Fox message said new recruit, sir. No time to paint armour.
At least the Raven Guard are in black armour.
Sorry, sir. That's more Ultramarines.
For Emperor's sake, fox them and find out why.
Also new armour, sir. Their eye lenses are red, and the bolt guns are silver. 3 colours minimum, sir.
What the? Get on the Vox now and tell them to contact Miniature Realm Studio.
Miniature Realm Studio, sir?
Yes, Fennec. Miniature Realm Studio offers a commission painting service, competitive rates, and a range of painting standards to suit most budgets and requirements.
Yes, sir. I suppose they do say that fully painted is for closers.
What does that even mean, Fennec?
I don't know, sir.
Miniature Realm Studio can be found on Facebook, on Twitter at Miniature Realms, on Instagram at Miniature Realm Studio, or just drop Stuart an email at miniaturerealmstudio@gmail.com.
Welcome back again. So, it's the new year. If you're not listening at time of recording, it's start of 2018. There's what's the guy on Instagram who started the hobby resolutions thing? I've fucking forgotten, and I did write it down for this reason. Hobby Vices.
Yes.
So Hobby Vices on Instagram. I think he's done his hobby resolutions again. So make some commitments for your hobby resolutions.
And everyone's jumped on it.
Yeah, and there's been quite a few people talking about hobby resolutions and stuff. I haven't because I can't fucking commit to anything.
No, I don't make resolutions.
And that's
the end of the segment.
Yeah,
we don't make resolutions. Yeah.
No, so we decided rather than sort of through our hobby resolution, because your resolution is just keep fucking painting.
Try and get a bit more hobby done. There's nothing I'm doing that stops me getting my own hobby done at the moment.
My resolution is just keep fucking going and keep going. I was quite lucky actually. 2017, I achieved a lot of hobby goals.
Mm-hmm.
I painted a big army. I had a 40k Ultramarines army that got to about 4k, and it was okay, but some of it was really badly painted. So getting to like 7k of what I consider nicely painted Ultramarines, hitting loads of events, travelling abroad, meeting shitloads of people. I ticked off so many hobby goals last year that it'd be ridiculous to try and one-up it. I think, for me, my resolution is to run 3 good events this year, because that's going to be a real challenge. A lot of work this year into doing that. So, so rather than sort of bumble through that, we decided, right, you guys are all making hobby commitments, so we put the shout out on our various social media platforms, said, you want to do these things? Ask us questions. We'll see what we can do to help you achieve these things. So we thought we'd give you a sort of an extended bullshit and bad hobby section this episode.
A lot more bullshit.
A lot more bullshit and a lot of bad advice. So we thought we'd go through it. So shall I hit the Facebook page first then?
Yeah.
So Lewis Fox was our first message in. He says, any advice for painting Dark Angels, checkers on Dark Angels on troops and tanks?
Yeah, tough.
Tanks is fairly easy. Masking tape.
Yeah.
Mask it off, paint it.
Even then, it's not that
You're going to want
simple.
to tackle a bigger section, and doing fine detail is going to be an issue. But
it's because masking doesn't. You get your lines one way, but it doesn't work like that. So masking tape, you almost have to cut squares.
Yeah, and that's a real pain in the balls.
I've not done it, and I'll avoid it as much as I can. You don't see it too often. You see it on.
I think you don't see
in
it
all
because
painting.
It's
You very rarely see it.
Yeah.
So you see it on Orcs in 40k, and then you see it on Dark Angels, channeling their emo wristbands. I think we'll come on to a reply
Yeah.
Dan's put in, which is brilliant in a minute. I would have suggested looking at transfers. I don't know this. This is just a guess, but we got the Blood Angels transfers quite early. We're a long way off Angelus. I wonder if the next transfer sheet will see whether it will be Dark Angels.
I think, from memory, there are some white checkers on the Ultramarines one, so you could paint something black and then overlay that on top and would give you
there are. I've seen them somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure they are on the bottom. There's a couple of strips on the bottom because I know there's a set of U's. I think there's a checkerboard on there, so you might be able to look into those.
There's companies that will make them for you.
Yeah, Fallout Hobbies.
Fallout, and there's others as well. Yeah, but Fallout definitely.
Fallout definitely. They even do a custom lot, so you might be able to get a sheet of Dark Angels transfers.
So I would use transfers unless you know if you're that kind of painting for me. Would be how much time is it going to be worth? So the reward versus time. Yeah. How much time is it worth me putting into doing this for a sergeant in a tac squad?
Yeah,
I would say no. So I try and find a quick option. Yeah. If you're painting it for competition or something, then it just
if you're spending 100 hours on it, you're
just try and be as neat as you possibly can, and you practice your freehand. And you try and find whether you mask it, try and find methods to keep it neat and even. So Dan
actually came back with a really good reply. I looked at it. So Dan Dusick, I think this popped up in the RFI chat. I think I vaguely remember seeing this earlier.
There's a link to an Amazon. There's an Amazon link,
which is to
US only, unfortunately, but it'll help the US guys listening.
But this is nail art decals.
Yeah,
and a lot of them are flowery, crappy things. But in the corner of the sheet he's named, it's a load of black and white checkerboards.
Yeah.
So there's an avenue to look in. Stickers and decals. So was it 12 styles, mixed design, elegant black and white, lace, flower, checker, nail art, polish, sticker, tattoo, deco patch, wrap, nail tips for women, girls, wives.
Let's hit as many search
keywords as we can. So have a look into that. There might
you might find other stuff useful as well. You might find some jewels and stuff. You might find some flowers.
Fucking bedazzle your fucking Dark Angels. I want to see a Dark Angel with fuckloads of bedazzling on it. I got rhinestones and I stuck them to me minge.
I'm sure the line uses Timotei, doesn't it?
That's what you call an Irishman with a shampoo bottle on his head. Timotei.
Old and gold, he's right.
We've got John. Do you want to take John's one?
Yes. So, how do you get past the hurdle of painting a force when you're at the point where you stop seeing big changes after a painting session? It changes. It depends on context, really. I mean, if you follow some of the demon painters and you're sort of spending weeks on a leg or something, I think their
they're
motivation.
Not painting a large force there.
I don't know what his context is for the question either. But if it's, I don't know. I don't find I get to stages where I'm not seeing progression. I suppose it depends how long you can paint. If you're painting, and I just painted 74 infantry. If you're painting 74 infantry and you've got 2 hours a week to do it, then
it's going
that's going to be really depressing. If you're spending 40 hours on it, then you're going to finish it by the end of the week.
I kind of get what he means. So I get it with the Ultramarines sometimes, where you blast through the armour with the airbrush, and you go from a black model to painted armour, and you can do that in a couple of hours.
Yeah, and you've tricked yourself. I've talked about this before. You think, I'm nearly there, and then you realise all those little
go back and do the silvers and the golds, and you're painting the same metal trim on every single model, and you feel like you've been at it for 2 hours. You look at it and think, I've only done fucking 4 of these fuckers.
Podcasts and audiobooks.
Yeah, podcasts.
I tried to give myself something other to enjoy at the time. So if I'm not enjoying that, I sit there and I listen to audiobooks and I remind myself that I could be cleaning toilets, that I could be digging a road, I could
working with me.
Doing it. So, and I know this is probably your hobby, not your job, but if it's something I don't enjoy, I try to give myself something else that I enjoy at the same time to sweeten it. So, and it's another distraction. So that's a film. That's a podcast,
swapping between what you're doing. So maybe have 2 squads on the go. So you're doing the silvers on one and the golds on the other.
Yeah, treat yourself to do a little bit on a character or something.
You're painting different bits, and you just breaking up that cycle.
If you're OCD like me, and you won't allow yourself to move on to the next stage until you've done all of the gold on 74 models.
Yeah, but that's just your own stupid fault.
Yeah, I can't. I'm a bit weird.
Yeah.
It's whatever works best for you to get you through. I mean, how do you get through it? Let us know how you get through it at the moment. What project are you working on?
Furiously masturbating under the table while I'm doing it. That gets me through it. So shall we hit Paul's question next? So Paul Mulder, Regular Paul says...
Regular Paul.
Regular Paul. He messages all the
He's
time.
a regular. He's not an unusual Paul. He's a regular Paul. Yeah.
But no, he's not. Where's he from? Deutschland? No, not Deutschland.
No.
He's a Hollander.
He's from the Netherlands. Yeah,
Netherlands. I've insulted him.
You have by saying. That's like all the other podcasters keep calling Miles English, and he's Welsh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He's Welsh.
So calling Dutch people German can be a problem.
Once they're over the water, they're all European. And I can actually say that now because we're not going to be fucking European much longer, are we? Fucking.
I think we're going to be European.
With Brexit.
I don't think we stop being European. Anyway, that's
anyway. So Paul says, have we discussed masking tape and decals yet? So let's see. What's his first question?
Have we? No.
I
don't know.
Yeah, we haven't covered masking tape really. I think we've done a bit on decals. We mentioned before, but masking tape. He had some overspray when he applied the tape wrong, and he ticks and trips for using masking tape. Buy Tamiya masking tape.
Yeah, definitely.
Honest to God, go out and buy that. It's not that expensive, and it's bloody good. Take your time when getting it down and rub it multiple times.
And you will make that will happen. It still happens to me. I'll get a bit of overspray on something. You think I'll never get there,
weather it,
and then you move the brush in an angle that you didn't think you were going to cover. And sometimes if you notice it straight away, if it's such a fine area, you can actually remove it with a bit of water and rub it away. Use different types of masking tape as well. So I use Tamiya, but then I use the cheap stuff to cover the larger gaps. So I'll put the Tamiya around the neat edges, and then I've got a larger area. Sometimes I stick a bit of paper blocking it, so I know that I won't hit any further.
I bought some 2-inch wide tape the other day because I'm going to tape the top of the Mastodon up, so that big gap. I'll use the Tamiya stuff where it actually comes in contact around the edge, and just a 2-inch strip down the middle.
So you don't have to use the expensive stuff. There's the masking fluids we talked about a few episodes ago.
That's really good.
And that new stuff.
Have you been on Parafilm? Because I want to buy some, but have you tried it yet?
It's been on my watch list on eBay for ages, because I just haven't got around to buying any. But I'm going to get some.
Who was using it? It was Dave Warden's Instagram #, Dave Warden's.
Moggy's Miniatures has done a video using them on
he's been using
YouTube
it a lot
as well, so you can search that.
Dave did Night Fire on the other day, and he masked it off with Parafilm and had some good results with it. So it's not. I guess when you say masking tape, it's not really masking tape. It's masking, and a range of stuff. So we were chatting earlier. So Sam did his Stalax the other day, and he was following your lessons, and I mentioned to him, and I think we've chatted as well about he painted the metals and masked off the metals to do the pads.
Yeah.
Whereas when I do my Ursarex and my Stalax, I airbrush in the pads, and then I use liquid mask to mask off the pads because it's so much easier than putting tape on it. Now I do it for one reason, because the way I'm doing the metals is different to the way you do the metals, and it's there's lots of different reasons.
It wouldn't have worked with masking fluid, because we were using the way we were doing the rest of the metals. He would have stripped the masking fluid.
Yeah, you were
off.
using a lot of oil and white spirit and stuff. So it's using the right tool for the right job in a lot of places. So masking fluid is brilliant. You can tape around the edge of somewhere, fucking layer masking fluid over it.
Yeah. Well, you
saran wrap.
You've just used the American term.
I've used the American term. I've forgotten the English. Cling film. Fucking plastic wrap. That's great. I know Carl over at Studio Dropship. He's a big fan of using the cling film wrap to
mould it. But once you've got the sheet,
once you
started the bloody thing, and you're not swearing at it because you've ripped a little bit.
You can wrap it around. So lots of different types. One good tip with masking tape: pull it off, put it on your leg, pull it off, put it back, pull it. Even with the Tamiya stuff, just get a little bit of the stickiness off it, because it can be quite strong and you can peel if you're not careful. So just 2 little taps on your leg will just take the edge of the stickiness off it, and you won't get the pull away.
Mm-hmm.
And then his next question, because fuck me, he's got a load here. Decals, even with Set and Sol, he's been struggling to get the round ultramarine transfers on marine pauldrons. I'll be perfectly honest, some of that problem is the older GWU sheets. They are a lot thicker, and they do take them. You need to put a little incision through the top section of it.
Yeah.
But you have to be very careful how much you cut, because if you do too much, it'll split at the top. I used to do it. And you have to be really careful with it. But I would use the forge wheel sheets, because they're so much thinner and better.
Well, some of them are quite thick. Now, I know that when I've used
some of the older ones
some
of
the Emperor's Children ones, there's so much gold in it. It's very thick.
Depending on the printing of what it's on there.
Sometimes a gloss varnish over afterwards will smooth off the edges a little bit as well.
But I gloss transfer my set sol, and then I'll gloss varnish again over the top of it before then going on to the next stage anyway, and that usually is the finishing touch then to smooth it off. The other thing to remember, you're looking at it from 3 foot away. A little crease and a crinkle isn't going to show up too often. If you need to just pop a little bubble with a knife as well, do that.
If there's a crease or something, I'll often, before I gloss again, I'll often just scrape it away, so as if it's
I was going to
worn
say,
away.
yeah.
So you get that almost chipped effect, like the
Weathering gets you out of all kinds of shit.
Always.
Battle damage the crap out of it. And last one then, what makes Scale 75 the new hot thing?
I wouldn't say they're the new hot thing anymore. I think
depends how long you've been kicking
Miles
around.
described them really well on one of the latest Age of Darkness episodes, and he described them as a really good paint that's designed to use for airbrushing and glazing, and that's exactly what they do. You almost want to paint every time you use the brush with them. You almost want to thin them up, really thin them, and almost use them as various thickness of glazes.
The metals I find give quite good coverage without glazing.
The metallics are a little bit different.
The colours definitely are much better as glazes.
Yeah, I think so. I think they go through the airbrush really well, give you a very ultra matte finish. So that's the first thing. So if you like ultra matte, that's really good, and it's good for certain textures, especially materials, cloths, that kind of thing. Yeah. Great for skins and flesh and things. And then the glazing side of thing, I find them really, as much as they're very difficult to get used to start with because they're quite thick and gloopy, and you have to get used to them.
Yeah.
But when they dry more opaque than when you first put them down. So you might be doing a highlight and you put the layer down, you think that's a bit stark. You go back and look at it a few minutes ago, you think, oh, that's not bright enough. I need to add another layer. So you can build up the layers really good, and that's where the glazing side comes in.
I find that with
if you want to
metallics
paint
as well.
Heavy metal style. Majority, most of your models painted that way, they're probably not the right paint. So it's just finding the right paint to do the right job. So you may well find, no, I don't like to paint that way. I like my GW paint, so I like my Vallejo. Then pick up some of the metallics, maybe pick up their flesh set, and use them for those. But the colours, to use them for all of your painting, the colours themselves are different. I mean, I use them on my legionaries most of the time now, but if I wasn't going to be doing gloss varnish, oil washes, satin varnish, I wouldn't, because it's too matte for the armour. They wouldn't. It's not that kind of finish.
That's the other thing to remember.
If I'm going for a clean finish where I'm not going to be doing so many oil washes and things that changes the finish of the matte, I'd probably use a different brand.
That's the other thing to remember. I think as Miles said as well. We talk about the ultra matte finish with it. If you're going to be varnishing over the top of that, you're going to affect that as well. So sometimes some people go, oh, no, I want the ultra matte. Well, if you're varnishing at the end, you'll lose some of that matte as well. And you will change the tone by putting the gloss and the oils and everything over the top of it as well. So I just find they're a really nice paint range. I actually think they've got a really nice selection of colours. So GW, I find, have got a good range of colour. Vallejo, I think, have got an amazing range of colour, but can never fucking find anything because there's so much of it. You never settle anything. I think Scale 75 sit in a nice range where you can get a box set and you like the green. I've got good
nice
greens in there. I've got the sets there. I know I've got those colours. But actually, you can go and pick the odd colour out here and there. And they have got. I generally, if I'm struggling to find a colour, I'll find it in Scale 75. I tend to find. It's just got the right tone sometimes. So when I'm looking for an unusual tone, and I just like the range they've got there.
Yeah, I agree.
Next then?
Yes. Oh, you're not going to read the rest of his message?
Oh, well, he's making sexual advances about me.
And looking forward to the news show. I miss Tom's voice gently talking me to sleep. There you go.
How is he falling asleep with my fucking gob flapping?
Maybe it's the content rather than
the volume. He's got me on mute.
Making me... No, we're not going to carry on with that. It's disgusting. Jamie Harcourt Billingham would love to hear how Stu painted the Iron Warriors. I want mine to be oily and weathered, and I haven't tried heavy weathering yet. Any advice on weathering techniques, really? Oh, God. So, have we done a segment on weathering? We have, haven't we?
We have, There's definitely a weathering. Run through your Iron Warriors, because I think the way you've done the Iron Warriors, you actually create that.
There's a lot of tone in
finish with that before you hit weathering. You create.
There's a lot of tone.
The metal, that battered sort of beaten metal, is actually in the way you paint the metal anyway, rather than.
I try and approach the metal the same way as I'd approach other colours.
Yeah.
So when we do a red or a blue, we'd look at pre-shading, and I don't pre-shade the metals, but I'll do some make more sense in a minute. We look at pre-shading, we're looking at adding multiple tones before we then weather. So you've got fades and you've got this and that. Sometimes with metal, it's very easy to go, I'll start with a flat metal, and then I'll do all the work on it afterwards. So I try to sort of use some of the same things. Obviously, I don't pre-shade, but I'll start from black.
Yeah.
And then I will start from very, very dark metallic. So I'll often use Vallejo black, the metallic black, which is almost black metallic, very, very, very
so
dark.
It's just got kind of a little shine to it in the black,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So I'll often use that. And then I'll go on to, I think it's heavy metal. He's leaning behind him.
Yeah. Not the black metal, the one up from it, heavy metal.
No, it is black metal I'm talking about. So there's black metal is the darkest one. So the black metal is Scale 75's darkest one.
Yeah.
I will use that next.
Yeah.
And that almost covers the whole of the model.
That's almost your base colour, apart from the very deepest
leaving
recesses.
some of the Vallejo black in there.
Yeah.
And then I change what I do after that depending on what type of metal I'm going to do. So for the Iron Warriors, I want almost a dull steel look rather than a shiny, glossy, chromy look. So then I'm using heavy metal and thrash metal, because that's got almost a greeny, yellowy tone to it, and that kind of dulls it down. But I'm building up in layers, so I'm doing fade, so it's lighter at the bottom and darker at the top, all reversed depending on what you prefer. So some of the same ways you do with if I was painting the Emperor Children I did last year for Freddie, where it's
same principles apply.
Lighter at the top and darker at the bottom because on the sides the way I've done it right around. So
because when you're talking about fades, you're talking about light,
light
absolutely.
And contrast.
So it's whether it's metal or a flat colour, you still need to build that light, and the way you're building, so you're not just whacking one colour on top of another. You're creating those transitions still, just using metallic colours. So
that's the first stage. Is I'm creating transitions. Doesn't matter what colours you use, as long as they work together. Creating transitions in the metal before I've done any weathering. Then I'm glossing it, and then I'm generally hitting the whole thing with oil washes and lots of. And then I'm almost buffing it off in stages. So if it's a flyer, I'm kind of buffing it, but then doing directional lines. So I'm almost taking all the oil off into a streak back to the metal I did, and then I'm adding. There's so many stages, but powders and weathering and
metal's
chips,
a bit of
add chipping on top after that as well. Yeah. So I'm adding. The idea is to add as much texture as I possibly can and treat that metal like I would treat a painted armour surface if it was a colour, rather than just thinking, oh, it's a metal. And that's why they're so detailed.
So metal's a bit of a speciality for you. Something you
really
enjoy. It's something you very enjoy doing. Yeah.
I mean, even when I paint the bolters on Marines, well, you're picking up.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at the basic stuff. Not to say basic, but you've done these Death Guard tanks. There is a massive range of tone in that metal and texture.
Yeah,
it's the big thing. I think is one thing, like you said, you add your chippings and your scratching in with metal. You're adding tone to that metal. So one of the things, that metal I've been doing on my Thanax and stuff.
Yeah,
you put the decayed metal down and sponging on the brighter silvers.
Yeah,
the reasons for sponging it is to create texture, because it's a ripped up surface. It's creating that texture within it, and a metal has got texture to it. It's got scratches and unevenness to it. And
the oil wash does that as well.
Yeah,
the other end. So deep in the shadow, rather than just being dark, because the oil wash always dries really dusty.
Yeah,
and so it looks like it's dried on. It looks like. It looks like dried in, ground in dirt and things. But you're right. They're the sponging. I always do the sponging afterwards, and I might always, I might still do brown sponging as well. So just multiple layers, little bits of rust here. So give interest. Have some fun with it.
Yeah,
and it builds up this multiple kind of layers. And I'm going to be using it for a future project in an interesting way. But it's I do like painting metals, and I try and use a similar scheme even on things like bolters. I just cut out the number of stages I use, because you ain't
got that much room to do
fade
it on.
four different colours of metal on there, but you might do 2 or 3.
Yeah, cool. Callum then, as a big resolution on his list, advice on running a narrative event, making custom scenarios that will mess with the game, won't ruin other people's experience. What do you look for in an event? So, running a narrative event, biggest thing, do it. Mm-hmm. Create a relaxed atmosphere, and people will relax into the games, and if there are quirky stuff that comes up, people will just work their way around it. Give people space to move and breathe in it.
Yeah,
you will find people who, that's weird. Fuck it, we'll work it out between us. That's the joy of a narrative event. A lot of people just work it out. Do what you want, because if you don't do what you want, if you try and do something that you think people will want, and you don't really like it, it'll show. So every Tarsus event has just been me doing what I want and what I would find fun. So we did ZM last year because I wanted to play ZM. So we got some ZM tables and put it out. It was great. This year, I've been enjoying playing lots of Centurion at the end of last year. Let's have a Centurion event. I really like the idea of playing doubles. Let's make it doubles. And I'm passionate about what I want. And I know what I want. So when I'm sitting there going, right, I need this to work and that to work. I want this to be done. So I need that and that and that. And it gives me a focus. If I was thinking, oh, well, so-and-so wants to do Centurion, but I don't really know what Centurion is. Oh, well, I'll do a Centurion event. And then when people start asking you questions, you start going, oh, well, I don't really know. It gives a wishy-washy feeling. One of the things I think is really key is being confident as an event organiser. There's a lot of work. I mean, Tarsus events have grown arms and fucking legs, and they're now getting silly with what we're doing. I mean, we had a 20-minute discussion on the plans for the next Tarsus, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But we've got 4 events under us now, where we know, lots of different stuff. But go out and have fun and custom scenarios. If you haven't got time to play test it a lot, people keep it fairly level or use stuff that other people have already tested. So I sent people the points of interest and warlord system we've got is adapted from the Horus system, because I know the Horus system, Tim's used it, played it, tweaked it.
Yeah, he's used it.
I've tweaked it just to suit what we're doing, so we're not using the characters, the NPCs, because I just don't have time to create the characters at the moment. So
and not for the amount of people we've got.
Yeah, we got 68 people coming. I ain't got time to build all that crap. So it's just adapted. So borrow resources from people. I sent Sai over all the cards we use, the templates for all the cards we use, so he wants to use and adapt those, and so use the resources available. So I'm a big fan, I've spoken before, about using Forge World missions, because rightly or wrongly, I know all the structures there.
Yeah,
I know that there's there's certain function and key features that are in there. I twist and adapt them to suit what we're doing and suit what we want from it, and that helps and create. But I always have a foundation of a solid mission underneath me. Now, I know the Greetings from the Warp Boys, they write their missions straight out, pretty much come up with them completely. Fucking brilliant, because it's super narrative. But I think you need, if you've got time to playtest, write your own missions. But there's such a wealth of missions out there. There's the 6 core missions, there's the Shadow War missions, there's all the missions, all the legendary battles in all the black books, there's the city fight missions, there's so many missions in the Heresy books. If you go and look through the black books, there's plenty to play that missions people will never have even played. Spoiler for Tarsus, we've got a mission that I don't think I've seen anybody ever play before out of a black book is one of the missions, and it's going to screw with people. It's brilliant. But yeah, so go for it. And what do I look for in an event? I want a level of organisation. So I'm paying my money, I'm coming down. I'm not expecting you to hold my willy and stuff, but good communication, what time stuff is starting, clear stuff like that. I mean, this is my personal opinion now, because this is how I run my events. I like to know what time I got to be there, what I'm expecting. Just on it.
We're not talking about grading your organisation on the day in terms of if someone doesn't turn up and you've got to deal with it.
No. I'm talking about in the event pack.
Does
it tell me that I got to be there at 9:30 to start at 10, and then on Sunday I got to be back at 10? Is the parking? Where the venue is. Just basic crap. It's a nice, well presented. So, because for me, I just want to make sure that I'm there and I can participate in your event, not cause you a problem. People turning up late and missing and stuff. That's all kind of, and just clear, solid fun. Just relax. It's got to be relaxed. I don't want to be. I'm going to spend a weekend. I only get a few of these a year to go out. I want it to be fun and relaxed and chilled out and just have a laugh. So yeah, that's it for me, really. Anything your end?
No, I think you covered it pretty enough detail. I think I can grab it on as well, but it's
you're good at metals. I can do events.
Yeah, definitely. So the next one, Legion of Lies. What's your ideal date? We have one. twice a month, don't we?
Yeah,
So,
sit
on a table, face to face with someone, and
staring into their
bright
eyes.
lighting,
Fucking pan dishes on the ceiling,
models on the table, sometimes alcohol involved. Yeah,
rather obvious.
There's going to be no sex tonight, is there? We're not drunk enough.
Oh, the May pops up again. May, so May Gale from earlier. Are there any particular events for gaming you are looking forward to? Also, you mentioned painting and airbrushing courses. Where would you recommend, or what sites to keep an eye on for dates? In terms of painting courses, I can say Incom.
Yeah,
there will be more painting courses there.
So
Go and follow the Cult Paint.
Paint.
They've just put their schedule out for the year. I think there's going to be more coming out, but they've announced all their dates and stuff. Cult Paint is definitely very good. Go and find the painters, because I know CK Studios are coming over to Nottingham. You need to follow the people who are running the courses is the best place, because that's the best place for them.
They're all on Facebook.
All on Facebook. So you got CK Studios are coming over from America. Who else is running courses? Siege run courses.
Yeah.
Who else is kicking courses?
Depends what kind of level.
It depends where you are, because I know
some of
Alfondo
the
Duraz
big demon painters do one-off days.
Yeah, I know there's some colour theory days and stuff. Rich Gray's done one.
Danny Nuttall done some.
Danny Nuttall's done some up at Alpha Games. Dave Soper's done the course. I'd like to go on a Soper course, actually. I'd like to try and hit a Soper course this year. So yeah, it's finding the people, really. That's probably the best one. And gaming events. I'm particularly excited for Company of Legends.
Yeah,
I'm
me
looking
too.
forward to that.
Because that's the only one I'm booked in for this year.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I've just got the all clear to go up to the Legion of Peterborough's event, so I'm going to go to the Temple of Whack, and I'm going to take something to hurt people. I mean, I think I can get 60 sniper vets in at 1,500 points, so we're going to really fuck some people up there. That's going to be good. Ghoul Stars booked in for that as well, with the Green from the Warps guy. That's going to be good, because that's all the Peterborough crew as well, and that's a big event. That'll be good fun. I think that's all I got booked in so far. Everything else has come out on wrong fucking dates.
Yeah,
we were saying
we'll
earlier.
talk about that a bit later as we shout out.
Lots of events come up and it's just like, can't do that date. Can't do that date. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm
gutted.
I've had this similar. I think I was bemoaning last year that no one was doing one days on Sundays, and there's at least two popped up that just completely wrong time of the year for me. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I know. Andy just announced a fucking flesh paint course to finish for Cult Paint, and it's the fucking weekend I go skiing.
Yeah,
fuck's sake! It's like the one weekend I can't do.
That one.
Yeah, no, I did say to the wife, she went, no, you're not flying out late. Oh. But anyway, cool. Dan Dusick.
Yeah, so what are the 3 best painting tips you would give to improve painting other than take a class?
Patience, perseverance, repetition, and invest in some bits of kit.
Maths,
yeah.
It's more than 3.
It's more than 3. Maths. Look, painting. The thing that's improved my painting the most over the last 2 years is just keeping on painting. And I'm not talking about doing your 16-hour days.
Yeah.
If you can get an hour in a night, the hour a night philosophy is brilliant, because you will get better by practice, and the will to push on. Perseverance, because you will paint stuff and you won't feel like you're improving, and then it will click and something else. And you've got to have that perseverance to try new stuff. Get out there. I've got so many battered Space Marines and sides of Rhinos and stuff that I just try stuff out on, and they're all battered to hell, and they've all had different techniques. But it's start doing it once and going, that hasn't really worked, has it? I need to try again. And that perseverance to keep going. Some bits of kit, a wet palette, and that doesn't need to be a big investment. The Stay Wet palettes, STA wet palettes and paper, absolute fucking revelation. Miles put me onto them. They are fucking brilliant, because you can wash them and they're reusable and they're a decent size. So you've got your P3 one, haven't you? Yeah. And I've been using a P3 one, and it's fine, it's great, but I couldn't get any more paper. Yeah. But Miles put me onto these Stay Wet ones. You get £8, and it's like a fucking nearly a centimetre thick wedge of them.
I'll have to have a look at those.
They're really good. I'll send you the link later, and if you want to find them, send me a message, guys, in the show, and I'll drop you a message. But I'm currently using a plastic picnic plate, a J cloth folded up, and one of those on top, and it's perfect. That wet cloth has cost me less. Wet pallet's cost me less than a tenner. Yeah, I'm gonna buy the proper Stay Wet palette to go with it at some point, because just
is that the one that was kickstarted?
No. So this is another one. Just for tidiness, just for sake. It's working at the moment.
Not necessity.
Yeah, decent paintbrushes, some Rosemary & Co's or some Series 7s. one of the biggest things I did was buy some decent paintbrushes. I bought some series, the Rosemary and Co's, and having a tip that stays and keeps and looking after it. Yeah, so let's not go out and spend £1 million on all the fancy kit. But I think there are a few key bits. A decent light, some decent brushes, and a wet palette will help quite a bit. It's not going to but they'll help you with the techniques you're trying. Good kit will help you get better if you're trying the techniques. Yeah, if that makes sense.
So I would say, and I might change my answers every time I was asked this one. But
I probably would as well.
A lot of it depends on. So the first thing is think about what you're trying to achieve. So you want to learn the techniques that match what you're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to achieve a really, really nice army, a mass army but you like the weathered looking effect because you're into your 30k, etc., then learn techniques that match that.
There's no point learning power weapon fades and non-metallic metals on those. Go and learn
to think about what you actually want, because if you never intend to paint to a high level and you're a gamer but you want them to look nice and weathered, then you can still approach it from a rattle can but then learn the weathering techniques afterwards, as an example.
And you want to practice being neat and tidy, just being tidy around edges then.
So think about, start with the end in mind. It's an old businessy kind of chat. With your goal, start with the end in mind.
That's a corporate slang.
What do you want to achieve? Assuming brush painting, and then I would echo some of the things Tom said, is if you're brush painting you want to improve, think about thinning your paints right. A wet palette will help you do that, and then get some decent brushes. They're no more expensive really than GW brushes, so get yourself some good Kolinsky sabled. It can be Rosemary and Co, can be Broken Toe, doesn't have to be Winsor and Newton Series 7. Get yourself some good or mid-range decent sable brushes and some brush soap, and try painting with those, because if you're not already doing that, you're not going to get the best results with a GW brush. Dipping it into the pot, there's a world of difference. And then the third thing, now I know you've put take a class, well, so we forget, don't take a, other than taking a class. Not saying go and get a lesson, but you want to learn from others, whether that's through YouTube videos. I'm not talking about anything paid here. YouTube videos, people at local store, hobby shop, friends,
talking to people on Instagram, Facebook
that may be better at painting than you or more experienced in a technique than you. Try and learn from others. So that whether that's in person, look, I'm talking about free here. So videos are so many out. There's millions of hours worth of painting videos on YouTube. Look at those. Look at what they're doing, and then try and practice and recreate it.
It's practice and repetition, isn't it?
Practice and repetition. For me, that's not a tip. If you want to get better at something,
do it more.
Then you got to expect to have to put the time in and practice.
I put a shitload of time into eating. I'm fucking brilliant at eating.
Well, you're not doing very well this month.
No, I'm a right shit month. May pops up again. Top 3 models of the year. Well, I said we haven't had anything released this year.
Next question.
Top models of 2017 then.
I'm trying to remember what was released.
Everything Custodes.
It was all Custodes, wasn't it? I do like the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Telemon's really nice.
Telemon's nice.
I like their jet bikes as well. They were really nice.
This is really enthusiastic, isn't it?
No, I'm just trying to think of something.
Do you know what my favourite? The Red Scorpion Command Squad.
And the Leviathan.
I know it's not Heresy, but he didn't say Heresy.
They're
but
close
they will be Heresy models coming out of those models for me.
Those are really nice as well.
That Red Scorpion Command set is stunning.
Not Aaron.
Praetor.
Nice stuff. I'm going to buy that Leviathan. I'm going to use that Leviathan. We have to change the weapons.
Is there? I think there's a deal in there on there. If it's slightly cheaper.
Maybe.
If it's slightly cheaper, we might go in on that together. Because I want the Command Squad.
Okay.
So we might sort something out of that. Bloody Adam Kirby, bloody Jones. What's he whacking on about?
If you had unlimited funding, what Legion would you choose and why? Tom, if you say Ultras, so help me God, I'll have Keith set on you.
It's alright, I got Killer in my back pocket. Ultramarines.
And he's going to be waving his Johnson around or something, isn't he?
Fucking licking the inside of my thigh.
Did you see his comment? He was talking about his use of special characters on the Sons of Heresy group, and
I'm going to be
piped in. I'm going to be whacking my Johnson
in everybody's face. I just want Glenn to have. I want the Lion to have brilliant rules, and for Glenn to rip people's face off for a little bit because he deserves it after all those fucking rules.
I think they will. Answer the question. For me, it's not Legion down to unlimited funding. I suppose it will be List, because funding wouldn't stop me doing any Legion, but it might stop me doing particular lists within that Legion.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you could do a White Scars army, but could you really afford an all
Jet bikes,
White
yeah.
Scars army? So then, maybe if I had
White
the
Scars
money,
is
White
probably up
Scars
there,
jet
yeah.
bike.
Because you'd want to do it properly. That Orbital Assault 1000 Suns list I wrote, I really want to do it, but it's a lot of money. And it's not something I'm madly passionate about. I just know when I painted it all, I'd be really pleased with how it looks. So if money was no object, which it might be in the morning, I bought my Euro Millions ticket for 45 million quid. So if there's no more Geno 5-2 after this, have a nice life. I've got a fucking lottery win. I would do that Orbital Assault 1000 Suns list. And do you know how I know I'd like that list? Because I wrote it 6 months ago and it's still on my phone.
There we go.
I tend to clear stuff out after a few months if I've not looked at it.
Yeah, same.
So I think I'd probably go 1000 Suns if money was no object at the moment. Whacker Henry's here. Whacker Henry. So Tom says, quad mortars ever acceptable to use in Centurion and in general anymore with Phosphex, without Phosphex obviously. This definitely comes from some of the task lists kicking around, isn't it?
Probably. I think they're always acceptable to use. It's about the context of how you use it, and how many you use.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it always boils down to, when we talked about the Iron Warriors list earlier, is it going to be negative play experience for the person you're?
I think in Centurion, if you take one, because that is your only artillery choice.
Well, I've only ever owned one. I had one in my fist list. It's just the one on its own, didn't I? And
they're actually quite useless on their own.
They're okay, but
you need one's ish, 2 is good, 3 is a bit shitty. 3+3 is just.
If I was running, I probably wouldn't have.
I would like to fire a battery of 12 though once, just
Depends
once.
on the size of the game as well. I mean, if you were playing a really
AK 12 quad mortars is not going to be game breaking.
And the narrative of it, if you were, if it made sense,
your
that
fists
have a
on the wall of them. Terror.
So you guess it's fine to use them, but how many and what system
and how interesting is it to actually play with now? Because it's, and I've talked to Tom about this before, about them being a crutch.
Yeah.
I'll just stick them in because they're good. And I got to admit, it's almost like my Derodeo bit.
I thought they'd gone away a little bit, really.
They have.
All the chatter in 2017 around.
I think Centurion, because you're looking at dreadnoughts and stuff, so you can put a battery of 3 quad mortars in at 1,000 points pretty cheaply with shatter shells.
Yeah.
And you've got an effective anti-fire.
Yeah.
It's a good choice for Centurion.
I think people are looking at what they own as well, and they're going, well, take all the tanks out. What have I got? I've got 4K of this.
And I've got some quad mortars.
Okay. I don't want to.
But is it going to be
something else? I've only got 1 dread. Yeah. Oh, hang on, I can stick those in.
The other thing to remember is they're not scoring. They're not gonna do anything in the game, and it comes out.
You get some funky scenario when you've got to get people off the other side of the table or something, and who knows whether they'll be any good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think 9 times out of 10 it's the player. What's the player like over the other side? You play me, it doesn't matter what I bring, you're not going to fucking enjoy it. So, it doesn't matter what list I bring, it's going to be a horrible experience. But it's player so much. It definitely does come down to what the list, as we've said.
Yeah.
There's a political answer. Phil, hello Phil again, Phil Ledbetter. What unit would you add to the Sisters of Science to give them decent anti-tank without bringing in custos so they could run standalone and have a better chance? They have a lack of anti.
There's nothing in there.
There is something that happened that is brilliant though in the new rulebook. The Panoply of War does state that the War Machine detachment is available to everybody, and the Panoply of War is available to everybody. Sisters have access to things like Baneblades, Minotaurs. They've got all the access to suborbital strike wings, so we've got 3 lightnings now.
Yeah,
great anti-tank.
That's probably
that is your best option now.
Or you go something really fluffy and have 1,000 points of Imperial Army as an allied attachment.
With a Baneblade,
and make them the grunts that with some
mortar carriages or something,
and things, or even just weapons teams.
I want to do a blacked out stealth Sister of Silence shadow sword. Massive fucking volcano cannon, but paint it like really, like the similar style to the snatch vans they've got.
Yes,
that kind of dull black kind of. It looks like stealth shielding, like kind of it absorbs things. And do a shadow sword like that. I think it'd be fucking hilarious. Sisters and a shadow sword would be great. So I think the Panoply of War, triple lightnings, triple Avengers. There's definitely an anti-tank option in there. So Cool. I think you want to look at your War Machine detachment now. I know that I will be thinking about Sisters and a War Machine detachment at some point because that does open up a lot of things. Cool. So that's the Facebook page, Dan.
Yes.
We into the group then?
We are into the group.
I think there's a lot more abuse in the group.
Is there? I've only...
Here we are. There's only a couple in the group.
There's more on there.
So start off with Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox of the lurking face, gurning face picture. How many bathrooms is too many? I think we need to say 3.
Yeah.
Because any more than 3, you're in trouble.
So no, that's 3 would be too many then, doesn't it? So he says how many is too
4.
many? So 4 would be too many.
4 is too many.
4 would be too many.
I mean, do we count my garden as a toilet?
I don't know.
I piss in it quite a lot.
Do you count your garden as a toilet?
The dog does. The dog fucking shits everywhere in it. I think the scientific and what the heresy community has come to generally well accept now that is 4 is too many bathrooms. He's so pissed off with this now. Mr. Klaus, Tom Klaus, Storm Eagle or Cestus? Ass ram every time.
Depends what you want to do with it, doesn't it?
No, ass ram every time. Storm Eagle is lovely. It's too fragile. Gets shot down. Trust me, I fucking know. Storm Eagle, I would love for it to work well. It's too fragile for what it's doing because it's a transport, really. So it needs to be tough. The Cestus just being a bit tougher for me is.
We don't see too many of them as well.
Yeah, and they're fucking huge.
Yeah.
Did you see cars?
Yeah. They're big.
They're fucking monsters. And George is working on one at the moment, isn't he?
He's been working on a while, hasn't he?
He's going to pop up with.
To be honest with you, there's a little dig there, but he builds to the sort of precision and quality that I haven't got the patience to do what he's doing.
No.
He is very much a modeller as well as a painter. He's a very good job. So joking aside, he's done an incredible job.
And he's lit the inside.
I wouldn't have the patience.
He's lit the Cestus as well with LED lights.
But I'm sure he's been building it for about 2 months.
He actually pops up later with a question, so we'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, I go Cestus every time now, and maybe that's because I've got the Eagle, and I want a Cestus. So yeah. Mr. Jack Eldridge. Essential techniques to achieve a gritty, realistic weathered Astartes force. I think this is your one.
I think he's just done it, hasn't he?
Yeah. Whatever you've been doing.
We talked about it a lot, Jack, and you've done an amazing job of his.
I actually think when you say essential, it depends on force.
Yeah.
See, Death Guard, you are looking at oils and mud and grime and grease.
I use oils on pretty much every, apart from Freddy's Emperor's Children, he doesn't want me.
Exactly. But I wouldn't oil Emperor's Children. I'd be looking at scratches, same as my Ultramarines. I think scratches are more their thing.
Depends how you use oils, though. You can use oils at different levels. So,
you roll around.
If you're going to have a tool, if you're going to have a toolkit, it's going to be
oils,
a range
sponges.
of weathering powder, sponges for doing chipping.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be looking at oils, and that's the minimum I would have.
Yeah.
Because with oils you can do a lot of the stuff that you can do with the pre-mixed stuff like your AKs and stuff. And then there's so much out there. Go and buy some
fucking bonkers.
GW stuff as well. There's just texture paint.
How
all
do you
these
make
things.
typhus corrosion work? I fucking hate it. I put it on some. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the best thing ever."
Well, it depends what you're going to use it for.
I put it onto fucking Necromunda bases, and it just looks like someone's had a poo and wiped it off. It's terrible. Typhus corrosion is fucking god awful.
I like it, but you want to use it in moderation. You want to use it in small areas.
You put a little dab on it, and it just looks shit. I'm doing something wrong with it. I swear I'm doing something wrong because everybody's like, "It's brilliant," and I can't get it to work. It just looks shit. What are you trying to
achieve with it?
Putting it into like recesses and stuff to give it a bit of grit.
I wouldn't use it on a recess.
What do you do with it then?
I'd use it on more flat surfaces. So what you're trying to look like built up dirt or corrosive, changed colour metals.
But it just looks like brown. Someone's wiped a bit of poo on it.
I used to put it over Rise of Rust or Stipples and stuff like that as well. So mixing it with other techniques and things as well.
It's probably.
I don't use it that much.
Blood God's brilliant. That's my favourite.
Plop it on everything. Now
I used to like Nickleth Oxide until Andy showed me how to do. Mr. Wardle showed me how to do verdigris properly, and it's actually easier.
You can make that yourself anyway with medium.
He just showed me he showed you 3 paints. He's like, do this. It's like, oh, that's a million times better than anything else I've ever done.
More control painting it on as well.
Yeah.
The washes always looks fine where it settles in the recess, but it always leaves a slightly milky, chalky residue around it, which you don't want. You want it to be clear, so you're better off painting it in. So next one.
Go on, you can tackle this one because I've stolen the last three, so I'll be generous and give you this.
So it's Wanless. So how much quack... Is it quack? Yeah. How much quack would a quack tonka quack if a tonka could tonk quack at a snap shooting glaive?
There's so many insults in that one sentence.
There's a few
and it means nothing to anybody else.
Are the Geno boys coming to Legion of Peterborough tuning event? Forlorn Hope at the Dune of Lanyon Prime. The fluff for that is awesome. I read that this morning. So was it Collister that's written that? That. Well done, Dan. Really enjoyed that.
He's not been doing anything at work today.
You know how that works.
Yeah, exactly.
4th of March, 1,500 pints. Points? That would be good. Points. And more fluff than Tom's bum crack. How does he know? You've been cheating on me. Oh. Yeah. The Ataris are playing the night before if you want to get your emo on. For more info on the group page, blah, blah, blah. Tom he's already said he's going.
Yeah. You're just waiting to get a pass, aren't
maybe.
You? Yeah.
It would be the perfect event normally on a Sunday, one day. Problem is it's a week after Tarsis, so the wife's already lost me for a weekend. And it's the same month that we're going to
Legends.
And that's pretty much 3 days because we've got to travel on the Friday. So the wife will give me a look when I ask for it because she works weekends. This is why it's an issue. So she's asking her to make sure that she's not working another.
She's losing 3 days for Company of Legends already, anyway.
So, and we still haven't got our completion date. So at some point in February or March, we're going to have to move house.
Just don't fucking move Company of the Legends.
The week before for Tarsis, we're in Berlin all week. As well. So we're hoping we don't have to move that week because that might have to get cancelled. So there's a lot going on around then. I'm going to try though. I'm definitely going to try because I definitely want to. And Sunday one day is exactly what I need.
What's the unladen airspeed of a fire whacker? Because they are fucking fire whackers. And am I drinking rum properly or am I ruining it with roller colour?
Nothing.
I'm not fucking drinking.
I bought you a beer that's got rum in it.
I know, and I can't drink it.
It's actually got rum in it.
I know, and I can't drink it.
Oh, dear.
But the problem is Alex is drinking like a man. What he means is pouring 6 fucking glasses of whiskey and trying to pour 1 splash of Coke in each. That's fucking horrendous. Oh, yeah, there you go, one less. But yeah, anyway, there was a subtle shout out there. Legion of Peterborough.
Yes.
Go and join their group. It's a good little group. If you're anywhere near Peterborough, you can go to the home of the 30k channel, hang out with those boys, play on the boards there. They're a good group. You need to bring your fucking cheese up there because they like to play tough up there. But yeah, go and join that group. And they are running the event. And by all sounds of the last event they ran, it was a really fucking good event, and they're doing a real good job up there. So go and
apart from Pete, he doesn't like. He likes fluffy armies, isn't he? So he's
got
Pete, one fluffer and a load of.
Pete likes to say he's
going to have sore knees and if he's fluffing that many. Anyway, funnily enough, Legion of Peterborough.
Like a sailor's ring piece.
First comment.
Yeah, first piece on Instagram.
Anyone would think we're only listened to, but we are actually only listened to by Peterborough.
My one, Tonka, Instagram celebrity Tonka. If I have to fill 5 bathrooms, what's the best possible toilet you could buy? Bonus points if it relates to heresy. Well, for all heresy players, what they need to know, you need one of those Japanese toilets that can spray water up your ass and everything else like that. Because the amount of shit that pours out of heresy players, you need a fucking jet washer to get them off.
The best toilet, fucking hell.
Rogel Dawn's Toilet Emporium. Actually, Alpha is usually on the shitter.
I'm trying to remember the name of the Imperial commander that turned. Tember. Eugen Tember.
Tember's toilets.
That was a pretty shitty ship where they had to fight their way through and waist deep in.
Do you know what?
There you go. There's your proper heresy answer.
There's a Sons of Heresy advert waiting to happen. Tember's toilets. Come on, Johnny.
Get on,
Jason. Tember's toilets.
There we go. Got to squeeze a little bit of heresy in there.
Yeah, let's get something out of it. Another heresy question then.
So, Unbroken Chain. Surely.
No, you've skipped a load.
Have I?
Yeah, fucking Emperor's Path next. Sun's next.
No, I'm reading the replies to that one. That's what's going on.
All the shit that's being talked.
Is there a Golden Throne company for toilets? Oh, brilliant. Anyway, sorry, that's the reply. Full Pete. Emperor's Path, my Sam. So, question 1. If you had to purchase one Primarch to paint for fun, who would it be? Horus. I have got him.
You've got him to paint.
I've got him.
Yeah.
And he will just be for fun now. Yeah, it's my favourite. I think I'd like to have them all at some point. If
I would
if I
love
ever run
to
out of
have
armies to
them,
do,
yeah.
I'd love to have them all as sort of display pieces. But if I could only have a couple, he would definitely be.
Yeah.
It's bloody called Horus Heresy, for fuck's sake. You might as well
Yeah,
say him.
Horus would be
I
up
love the
there.
model. I love his base as well.
Magnus, I love the model.
Yep.
Not a massive fan of Russ. In terms of, like, it's a good model, it just doesn't do it for
I
me.
quite like it. I've painted it, so I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Angron, actually. I really like it.
Yeah. The sculpt still
Seems a bit-
holds up.
It feels too small now, having
Yeah,
painted some of the
but
others.
the actual style of it.
But everything about it, I just like
The
to
other
see.
thing, Angron is in power armor, not in
Yeah.
the other bulky armor. He's going to be a bit scrawnier in bulk, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He hasn't got big slabs of Terminator armor. Peter Turbo, I'd paint Tubby Turbo. That'd be quite fun.
I've done
You've
that
done
one.
Actually, who haven't you painted?
Quite a few. I haven't done that.
Actually,
many
Night Haunter. I've looked to buy Night Haunter a few times.
Yeah.
I'd like to paint Curse.
It's a good pose as well. They're all good. I don't
Problem
know.
is, yeah, like we said, I could buy every one and paint every one of them.
But if I could only own one,
yeah.
and own and paint one, I'd Horus.
I suppose I'd probably have to exclude Gilliman, don't I? Because that's too
'Cause he's
obvious.
shit. He's not very good.
Yeah, he's fucking
he's
wank.
terrible on the table.
Everybody hates him because he's so poor. That's definitely the reason why.
I'll tell you what you should do, just to make him a bit better. I'd run him with a Forge Lord, a Chaplain, and
and a fuckload of suzerain.
yeah.
Do you know what?
You need some way to get him on the table quick though, and then just to make sure that he's not
I've got
overrun.
him.
Get some of them outflanking sniper vets.
I got a
I
Mastodon
think
to put
they're
them
called
all in now. I can get 40. So I could potentially take.
That's
10,
you
I could
toning
take-
down your list running that.
I
though,
could
Tom.
take Gilliman, 10 suzerain, a Forge Lord, a Chaplain, a Praetor, and the Apothecary. Forge Lord, Chaplain, Apothecary, 10 suzerain,
Yeah.
and Gilliman and the Apothecary in one unit in the Mastodon.
And that's a weaker list, Tom. Moving on.
I'd have to run it as a Leviathan. I'd have to run an Onslaught Force though to get both the Lord and
Oh
Lord.
no, you wouldn't get all your other bonuses as well. Definitely a weak list. Should we?
I wouldn't get the outflanking sniper vets because Gilliman he only makes suzerain troops. So I could put another 20 suzerain in the army as well. I did come up with a list at one point that was a Spartan with Gilliman and suzerain, and then 2 land raiders with full of suzerain in them as well. Yeah, I had 30 suzerain in that list. Sorry, anyway.
Question
Bad thought.
2. In a game where there's a lot of vets, oh my god, I didn't read this before we started going on. A lot of vets running around in the current meta. What would you say is the most sensible way of dealing with them? I'm guilty of running them too a lot recently.
Yeah, Sam's with me on snipers. Things that fuck me up. Anything with power weapons. So anything that's got power weapons will fucking hurt. Anything with a blast template, Medusas, quad mortars, boring stuff like that. Killing their transports, blow up the rhinos so they can't move.
Because it's not about. I mean, they are just Marines in transport.
They are still only 3-up armor. Anything that will kill a tac squad will kill a vet squad.
It's thinking about what's going to happen second. It's about deployment and then thinking about what's going to happen second and third turn in the game, isn't it? Knowing that they're going to come in and what they can do. It's not so much about because you're going to
move away from the sides of the boards.
Most stuff you have on the table should be able to deal with them one way or another as much as you can deal with any Marines.
Yeah.
It's
Kill the
thinking about your
maneuverability,
deployment
kill the tank.
And sometimes there's nothing you can do. You know you're going to come in, so you've got to try and win the game in other areas as well.
Intercept, move down the board fast, force them to come into a position that is not optimal.
Or give them no room.
Yeah.
That's
just line your models up down the side of the board.
Well, it depends what your deployment is. And if you've got a lot of troops, and
don't give them good options.
Give them no room to come on.
I do actually agree. I don't agree that vets are a better choice instantly than normal Marines. Either normal Marines need to get significantly cheaper, where you can running a 20-man squad is the same as running 10 vets. So you think, okay, I've got the vets, but I've got twice the amount of bodies.
I wonder if they're actually comparable in terms of what they do as well.
Then Tank Marine and the vet squad. A vet squad is magnitudes of order better because
I mean 20.
Yeah, 20.
That's what I mean.
But it's the points.
But it makes you. Well, that's the question around points, isn't it? So if you'd still rather have 10 vets. In
Fury of the Legion doesn't
than 20, then that does say there's something wrong with the points, doesn't it?
I know Max is a big of double rhinos.
Yeah.
If you could transport 20 tank marines, it'd be so much better. Because when you go to 20 tank marines, you've either got to buy expensive transports like Spartans, which you don't want to do for tank marines, or you've got them foot slogging. And foot slogging is what kills infantry at the moment.
I'd go down a different route with some of these units. Is you start putting limits on how many. So 0 to 1 per X amount of 1,000 points and things like that, because you stop seeing the but you'd have a unit of them.
Yeah,
because that's the veteran unit, but it's not all.
Well, it's the combination of veterans being good for their points and Pride of the Legion being a pretty solid Rite of War that's easy to build a list off.
Yeah.
That gives you 2 really great units straight up in there.
Yeah.
I need to do a Gilliman Terminator list. I need to do lots of things. Mr. Jamie Fox, fuck me, he just wants to get everywhere, doesn't he?
He does.
How much militia infantry is too much infantry? Just how many rooms is too many in a one-house mansion? I think Jamie's getting a little sick of painting his militia, isn't he?
Yeah.
To be fair, he has done a fucking top-drawer job of painting all the infantry before doing the fun stuff, and they look good. What's he used? The Legion drop troops?
I think he has, and he's used some Krieg as well.
Some Krieg and some Legion stuff. They look fucking brilliant.
I'm really looking forward to
You're not allowed to say you've got a militia army unless you've got 200 infantry. Militia starts at 200 infantry. Just fact. Paint more, Jamie. Go out and paint more. Go crazy.
Right.
And how many rooms is too many rooms? When you've got enough room to have me in your house.
Oh, we'll have to get Pete on next time so we can answer some of the questions we don't know these.
Pete,
answers.
will you come on and do an interview about houses?
Okay, Geno Evil. Out of all the Primarchs, who would you have backing up in a fight?
Not Curse, because he'd probably bum you. Definitely
Russ.
not Curse. I don't know. He probably smells like a wet dog.
I don't think I'd care if it was in that situation.
Let's face it, it depends who you're fighting.
He might have his dogs with him and he can blame the smell on them.
Yeah.
Let's face it, if your dog farts, if you fight and your dog's in the room, it's never you, is it?
No. You know the problem? If I fart and the dog's in the room, the dog fucking leaves because she gets so offended when I fart. It's always me. Instantly, she'll fart.
Anyone being near you when you
thing
fart
is
would
the thing is, she farts and goes out the room and I still get the fucking blame. So, yeah. Who would I have backing me in a fight? Probably Dawn, because I don't like cats.
I don't think he stated it was a fight against cats. I think it's
fuck me. Here he is, George the mediocre modder from Spacemen with Guns, buying second-hand resin. As I've learnt recently, as I've learnt from not entirely terrible experience of a second-hand ass ram. That is the Cestus Assault Ram, not a black rubber fist. Buying a second-hand forgeable model can pose certain problems. What are your tips for working resin in general, as well as things to look at when buying models second-hand? Personally, I would not buy anything that's assembled. Twofold. One, I'm quite pernickety about how I build, as I know George is. Two, I tend to want sub-assemblies for painting anyway, so it's not for me.
Yeah.
So it's not something I've had a lot of experience in, because I just would, if something's assembled, it's just written off my list. I know George got a cracking deal on his Assault Ram. You've got to draw a point, though, at some point. He has spent so long doing it. Would he have been better off what he's spent in time? Depends if you enjoy it. I think he finds it labour of love.
The process of it, whereas I want it built so I can start painting it.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do I try and shift stuff to you to build, because I just can't be asked to build stuff? It's definitely it depends what you're buying. If you're buying a couple of tack squads, you're not too worried. If you're buying a big model like a Cestus Assault, if you can't see it in person, I see people put knights up for sale on trading sites with one picture, and I think the first thing I would do is ask you for about 10 million more fighters. I would want to see every joint on that, because if I'm going to spend 100 odd quid on a model, I want to know it's perfect.
It's difficult, isn't it?
I'm not a massive fan of buying second hand.
Forgeable's got a really high resale value.
Yeah.
And some of that is to do with shipping costs, and I'm digging at shipping costs. But I think that's because people will think, you can get it for this for £5 under retail price, and that includes the shipping, whereas you're paying that. And you see stuff go for that, and I know price is driven by market, but in terms of second-hand goods,
it holds its value.
Forge goes for a lot sometimes, and you see people, you'll see stuff on eBay in Forge bag with the stuff in there. You're pretty sure it's genuine, and that it's 1p less than the retail price, but includes shipping. And
it's still a saving.
Oh my God. I will buy stuff that's pre-built, but the costs would have to reflect that. So if I think I'm getting a good deal, I will put the work into it. It depends where it's available. The cost of I got my Thunderbolt very cheap. It was about 40 quid, and it's missing its canopy. I had to build one. I took a bit of cleaning up and work.
Yeah,
and
I didn't pay a lot for my Avenger, and that needed a lot of work, but it was worth it in the end.
Yeah,
but that was unassembled.
So for me, there's the balance in it, and then working with Resin, I mean, he's just as good as anyone to give
if
tips
not
on
better
this.
Than most people.
Wash it.
My ultrasonic cleaner's been a fucking revelation.
For washing resin?
Yeah, fucking wash everything in it. My airbrush is almost as clean as when I bought it, in terms of the bits you can't get to, the internal components. It's fucking brilliant. Run it for
Do you strip it first, or do you just chop it?
Strip it to pieces.
How many bits?
Just to what I would strip it to clean it normally.
So you're not taking all the trigger assembly apart?
I have done, because I was having some issues with the trigger sticking and some issues with
I hate taking that bit
But
apart.
I took that, I stripped it right back because I was having issues. But whereas when I've done that before, I strip it and then I'd almost have to get a fucking toothbrush and clean it.
Yeah.
I just stripped it, chucked in the ultrasonic cleaner, ran it for about 20 minutes, assembled it, and it was perfect. And I've just done the earth racks in it, and I literally threw it in there. My thing, it's got a 3-minute cycle, so I have to stand with it and press it. So I was on Facebook, flicking arse around, ran it about 8 times, took it out, and it was there. And it was fine. And
you might have to give me a
For
demonstration.
30-40 quid.
Yeah.
So it's not good, when you just want to clean the paint out your airbrush, you don't want to strip and take it out.
No. At the end of the day.
Yeah, so it's the end of the day clean. I go and bang it in there. I run it for about 15-20 minutes because it takes no effort as well. I know you could run your cleaner and your brush through it and do it yourself, but just bang it in there.
I might have to get one.
For 20, I think it was about 30-40 quid off Amazon.
It's not much.
It was really good. So you could have it just in. I've got it just inside by my kitchen. I just bang a bit of fairy liquid in with it, and it cleans it. And it just gets in, into the, the little cat bits that I dropped down the sink and you lost.
Yeah.
That you can never fucking clean. Yeah,
it's down a gap in the
it's
floor
under the
somewhere.
shed. You can never get right into the tip to clean it, and there's that bit where your brush is too thick. But the needle is too thin,
and
you
get
that
needle attachment just pushes right.
Yeah,
through
but you won't get.
There's going to be little bits.
Bang it in there, and it knocks that all out. It was really good.
Might have to do that actually.
So for cleaning, ultrasonic cleaners, I know there's a bit of debate, and maybe people might not find them as good as I do, but I think it was fucking good. Taking your time and having a proper set of tools. So I got my Dremel last year. I've got files. I mean, I've got more tools in my work drawers now than I always got paintbrushes, really.
Yeah. Careful when trimming your gates off, so you're doing it a bit further away from that, and you'll still snap bits off.
Yeah.
I'll be trimming.
My Typhon's got missing chunks.
Shoulder pads out of every 20, you're going to break the top of
two
or something. Yeah. You just have to stick it back together or make battle damage. But just be as careful as you can and trim the gates away, and then cut away the delicate bits with knives and files. I think
it's not easy fit plastic GW kits. It takes a while and. People bitch and moan, Vorgils, you have to do so much work with it to go. Yes, you do. It says it's for advanced modelers, and it takes work and time and effort.
It's part of the hobby.
And
if
George,
you don't like doing it, then pay someone to do it.
And George, you're one of the best people out there. You everything looks prepped perfectly on your stuff. So
definitely. Okay, so SRW933. What lead? Oh, sorry.
Fucking hell.
What lead characters do you think will duel in the final battle of Terror or leading up to it? I reckon the Emperor,
and
Horus,
Sanguinius and Horus,
right,
and question. Dawn and 15 cats. I would like to see Sigismund fight. What's his face from the Night Lords? Not Haunter. Sevatar. I'd like to see because they're both very. Sigismund is faith and fire, and he seems to be. Actually, I'm reading the Beast Arises series, and the Black Templars in that are becoming very religious, and because they're still at the point in M32 where the Imperium is religious and the Marines are like, no, this is a fucking lie, this is wrong. But the Black Templars are becoming religious, so Sigismund's faith is coming into it. And I think Sevatar's very nihilistic kind of attitude to, what the fuck are you on about, you fucking moron? And very, very nihilistic kind of approach to life would be a really interesting, not just like, it'll be an epic sword fight. I think they'd have a real clash of ideologies. There'd be a real good sort of fight there in terms of the clash of characters and contrast.
Yep. Cool. So what's the next question?
You're going with Sanguinius and Horace.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's.
All right.
It feels a bit like.
I'll stick to
I
answering the
don't
questions
think I've
properly
got
then.
any real. No, I don't think I've got any real kind of odd love. I'm quite
Yeah.
happy to wait and see what they do with it.
I'd like to
really.
see what happens with the what's the White Scars guy. He's basically a robot now. Torgan
Yeah.
Khan. I'd like to see where Torgan Khan's going to end up, because I think he's got a really interesting story arc, and he's going to be very interesting.
Oh, there's lots of
Yeah.
there's lots of cool
so
story
many
arcs, but in terms of fighting at the end,
conflicts,
it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad question. I just don't think I'm quite enjoying
I think Dawn,
taking in the series as it is. And
Dawn's going to be throwing rubber fists off the walls at Perturabo. Dawn and Perturabo would be quite an interesting fight, actually, because they're both very quite solid, heavy fighters. The fight with Alfarius and Dawn. Alfarius is dancing around. Dawn's basically taking slaps and then just goes, "Fuck off!"
Yeah,
and puts him down. And I think Dawn and Perturabo's fighting style might be quite good.
well, we don't know yet whether they're going to, in the final few books, change any of the established minimal fluff that's there.
No,
now.
I don't think
Stuff
they're
that
going to change that, but I think we're going to see a lot of expansion.
They've changed some bits a little bit, haven't they? So they may. We don't know whether there's going to be anyone there that we didn't think they would be there. Not complete U-turn or change, but they could quite easily put some of a Legion that wouldn't be there.
Yes, there's no reason why an Ultramarines battle barge couldn't have made it through
so
the
we
storm.
don't quite know what they're going to do with it. I mean, I haven't read Old Earth. I just finished Ruined Storm, so
I need to do it. I'm waiting for Old Earth to hit Audible at the moment.
I haven't checked actually.
I've been doing the Beast Arises. That's been really good actually. I'm enjoying the Beast Arises.
I'm on the
You need to stick with
Dark,
it.
I've gone for there's an extra Dark Tower book called Through the Keyhole, which is not honestly, so I'm listening to that at the moment now.
Is that the one where they go in and see celebrities home and you got to guess who they
is. It's narrated by
what's his face? Lloyd Grossman.
No, so that's what I'm listening to at the moment while I'm waiting for Old Earth to come out.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long now. It's only usually a couple of months, isn't it? I want to do the Sigilite book as well because I've heard that's really good.
I imagine that will hit fairly soon.
Yeah, I need to have a look for that because apparently that's got really interesting revelations in, hasn't it?
Yes, I think I'll listen.
I don't know what they are.
I listened to it would have been Greg on Imperial Truth when he's talking when he has the guy on. I can't remember his name. Apologies, from Track of Words, and they talked about it when they talked about the Advent calendar books, and they talked about it on there. So yeah, seems pretty good. Shall we do the next one then, Tom? Yeah. Or are you actually on Audible?
No,
Tom,
I'm concentrating.
Tom, I want to go to bed at some point. I don't. Can you do your shopping?
I haven't got to do anything else now. Literally got zero plans tomorrow. Realize I've got a fucking day free. I want to go and play Necromunda, but nobody seems to be around. All the guys that are playing Necromunda play a lot of X-Wing. Yeah. And it's regionals down in Cardiff. Right, Roller Cola. If you had Roller Cola, Tesco's Cola, Panda Cola, Audi Cola, Collop Cola, I'm going to say that faster, to choose from, which would be the most comprehensive ruin your rum, but still be your podcasting drink of choice. That's from our friend the Unbroken Blade. You can't beat Audi Cola. Audi Cola's the best.
I'm a fan of Tesco's Zero. 50p a bottle, tastes great. There we go. That's my Coke tip.
Your Coke habit.
Coke habit.
Audi Cola, can't fucking beat it. I fucking love Audi. It's brilliant. I read some really interesting stuff about the brothers who set up Audi. Because in Germany they've got Audi Sud and Audi, I can't remember North, but basically the brothers took half each.
Right.
They were the richest people in Europe. They are fucking billionaires, and they are apparently as tight as arseholes. There's one picture of them. They've just completely shunned flash lifestyle. Made shitloads of money, fuck loads of money, and they said they just abhorred wasted money. So they didn't have fridges in the original Audis because they would store all the refrigerated stuff in the basement because it was cold enough. And you know the reason all of them are really good on the counter for knowing the numbers and stuff for fruit and veg? It's because for years they didn't have barcodes because it would cost too much money to put barcode scanners in when they could just train the staff to know the stuff.
Yeah,
they're really, really interesting people. The Audi brothers who set up Audi.
That is interesting.
It's really not. It's fucking boring.
This is what happens when you run out of heresy books to listen to.
This is what happens when I spend
biographies of the Audi brothers.
It's what happens when I spend too much time on Imgur and I find things out.
Right.
It's also what happens when I've got a lot of health and safety work to do, and I don't do it properly because I spend too long fucking off. I've done exams in health and safety. I'm going to have a professional qualification in health and safety. How boring does that make me? Right.
Isfanian acolyte.
Almost. If you drop the C and the O in there,
Yeah.
that's what I saw to start with. Any tips for painting a militia army? Thinking about 4 20-man teams with 2 5-team heavy weapons worth of troops.
Depends what models you're using.
Breaking it up into chunks. Don't sit down. So we've had this discussion before.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise doing it the way I do it.
You get everything out in front of you and do it all, and have everything unpainted in front of you and just smash through it because you're the sort of dickhead
So
who
I hate repeating the same steps.
Yeah,
once I've
you'll
completed a
paint
model.
gold on 75 infantry in one go. I would take a squad, do a squad, then go and do something else. So I do a squad of infantry, then a squad of heavy weapons, a squad of infantry, a squad of heavy weapons, or a squad of infantry and a tank. Because I would just look at it, and my brain would just go, well, you're never going to fucking do that, so don't bother.
Yeah.
Because my brain just would go, stop.
If you're doing that many models, then you want to plan it out. So you want to write down the stages or know them in your head very well, so you don't miss bits. So
that's the thing. I know my
stage
routine
1,
with
this
ultras,
colour. Stage 2, all the boots. Stage 3, all of the straps. Stage, so you know that you don't get to the end and go, oh, fuck, I've missed this bit of silver off this on half the models. So have a bit of a plan, and then know yourself. So if you're like me and you have to do it all in one go, do it that way. That makes you want to cry. Do it in short chunks, like Tom said. So know what you like doing best, but definitely have a list of the stages so you can tick them off as you go. It makes you feel good when you tick them off as well. It makes you feel like you've achieved something.
You next.
Yeah, it's what, Evan. What is a good 750,000 point ZM list that also includes Sons of Horus ZM list that also includes 5 Volkite cauldrons?
We talked about this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah. So
drop us a message.
Yeah, drop us a message and we will cover that in the normal messages on the show. We talk about lists.
We need to know what you want, what your theme is, because I can write you a 750,000 point ZM list with those in,
but without any kind of fluff guidance. It's just going to be based on what's good and competitive, and I think that's probably not the way you want to go.
It'd be nice to know what you want from the Force and what appeals to you about Sons of Horus and what sort of things you like. So drop us a message, we'll chat, and we'll come up with something and we'll go through it on the list. Then there's a lot of shit talking about toilets and evil Taf F. How do you get a solid week? How do you get a week of solid painting with no family or work to get in the way? Book it on holiday and go away.
Yeah. Leave your wife. Don't and quit your job. If you've still got somewhere to paint,
go for it.
Then paint.
The short answer is you're not going to, and I think it's again the 1 hour a night discipline comes in. If you can just get, even if it's picking up 2 models and getting one coloured on the 2 models, if you can do that every night, and I remember when you were doing your FIS when we were getting started. You sat in front of the telly one night just doing the decals. Yeah. And you just, because you can do that while you sit in front of the telly and get that done. I'm a bugger. Like today, I had about an hour to kill before I came over here. So I went upstairs and I sponged all the metals on the Ursarax. Because I could have just sat downstairs and done nothing. But I was like, if I do that now, they're one more step closer to being done then. And it's like 20 minutes today, 20 minutes. So tomorrow morning I'll get up, I'll paint the copper on, I'll paint the visors in, I'll gloss them, put the decals on. I've got 4 hours then when they can sit there and do that.
If you've got somewhere permanent to paint or a setup that's easy to get out, then that's great. I mean, even with me having this whole summer house with it, it's still prohibitive because it's not part of the main house.
Same I get with being
upstairs.
Once
I've moved and I got my office inside, that I will do what you do more. I've got 20 minutes to myself. I will go and paint. Whereas now, if I've got 20 minutes to myself, I won't.
Because you've got to come outside and
I'll do the
hoovering
hoovering or something like that. It's kind of... I just think by the time especially when it's bloody cold out here, but I think by the time I've warmed the place up and come
you'll
out,
be turning around and going back in again.
So
it depends on your situation a lot, but
talk to your other half as well. Maybe they've got something that they like to do, so you kind of say, I really want to do some painting. Can I do a couple of hours painting? Will we do anything that evening? Do you mind if I paint that night? And then then I'll look after little and so that you can do something another day. So you kind of...
So we got in the habit at home quite, because the wife set up her company selling sewing stuff and selling clothes now. So she's quite happy to pop. We have dinner. We always have dinner together. Yeah. We always have dinner together. And then whenever dinner's finished, there's sort of an unwritten rule that we'll do things till sort of 9 o'clock-ish. So the wife will quite often sew or she'll be making orders for people's clothes and stuff. So she'll do that till 9. I'll paint till 9.
Yeah.
And because now, depending on what we've been doing, that might be 2 hours some night. If we got on and we've had dinner, it might only be half an hour some nights. But it's having the discipline when you think, I've only got 20 minutes. Especially, like I said, if you've got to set up somewhere, bang, I can go and do it. If you've got to get stuff out and you've only got 20 minutes, you might think, well, by the time I've got it out, I'll be done to back it up. But
it's difficult.
Just being disciplined.
And if he's got, I don't know how old his current children, but his second one on the way, it's going to be difficult for a while. I know that come tea time from 6 till 7 to 8ish, I'll be putting them to having dinner.
It's another period of that day.
Sometimes the wife and I will eat after that, so it's not till 9:30 that suddenly we're both free. And I'm a night owl, so I can be up a bit later. But if I want to spend some time with her, so it's difficult.
Well, you used to say this, you've got to find something that works for you. But so little and often is a great technique for getting stuff done. If you want a week solid painting, you are going to have to book it off work and
book it off your family.
Go somewhere else, because even I would struggle to get a week. I had Christmas off, all Christmas off. I got less painting in then than I've done this week because family commitments and stuff like that. So it's hard. It is hard. The one thing I would say is, I've always been told, a man should have a hobby. You need to keep your hands busy. My wife agrees. She knows I'm a pain in the ass and bored. I'll come downstairs and annoy her. She knows if I can paint, I'm less irritating. And you do need a hobby to relax. You talk about work-life balance stuff. I do health and safety stuff. You've done HR stuff at work. Work-life balance, if you're not doing anything you enjoy in life, you're going to be a miserable shit at home. Yeah. So actually, some nights the wife will tell me to fuck off and go and paint, because she knows if I paint for 20 minutes, I'll come back downstairs in a better mood then. And so sometimes I just need 20 minutes to unwind. I'm going to go and paint. And it can help. It can be a positive to family life as well.
It should be, your hobby should be a positive thing. And that's,
Gunnersbury.
Yes.
Now multi-bombs confirmed. How will you build an all-infantry disc capable of tackling an armament? Salt Marines with melter bombs so you can move fucking fast.
Yeah.
Vets with melter bombs. Breachers with apothecaries don't go fucking anywhere. If they got melter bombs, you can take a kick in and blow stuff up.
Yeah.
All infantry lists with melter bombs are so much more viable. Yes, you'll get dicked on by someone who brings a Typhon or something like that, but you're going to have to just, there's always going to be the rock to your paper and the scissors to your rock,
Yeah.
But
so build balance list, people.
Build balance list. But all infantry's fucking wicked. Angel's Wrath. I want to do an all assault marine angel. I want to do an Angel's Wrath force so that I can build a load of Loctara Storm special ultramarines with a load of assault marines.
Yeah.
And go for it. It'll be fucking wicked.
Yep.
Uplander. How do I get friends who make better jokes?
Poor Pete.
Buy less toilets.
Yeah, Pete's been reading all these comments, shall we say.
Come on, Pete, you're internet famous for toilets now, mate. That's exactly what you wanted, didn't it? You're not for your blog and your fantastic models and your commitment to hobby and your wonderful table. You wanted to be known on the internet for having too many toilets.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Chris Gibson, Mr. Unbroken Chain.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing that gets you juicing for an event? I'm not talking turgid here. I mean full on regal blue veined and everything. For you, it's usually getting to go to one.
Yeah. I think the same. I think it's the same for most people, isn't it? Really, it's getting to go away and not adult for a couple of days and talk to like-minded people. For me, that's what it's about. And then it is fun prepping for it, isn't it? The Age of Empire guys have done an amazing pack for Company of Legends for Durham. Looks beautiful, really, really nice. And it's fun receiving that. You click the link, download it, and flicking through it, and it's a really lovely put together PDF. And that's part of the enjoyment of it. It's about planning what list am I going to take? How are we getting there, and all of that.
It gives you focus.
To the excitement, isn't it?
So now, like you said, I've done it on the podcast. I've committed to getting my mech done. After it will have been a year since I bought them to get them on the table for Company of Legends. So I'm gonna get them done.
Next one's good. So this is Jody from the XLC. If I'm going to an event and I will face 3 thug guns and 2 Medusa carriages, how would you deal with it? And there's a few replies already. Tonka's just put, this is all the Peterborough guys taking the piss out of him now, aren't they?
Jody's joined the Peterborough boys. He's bringing the North Hands to the Peterborough boys, and he's getting educated in the Temple of Whack. The easiest way to deal with that list: take a hammer and just smash the models. And if this is a task list, don't worry, I shall be handing out the ban hammers to people. And people are building all these really strong lists. You know, they're really going for these lists. They haven't got a fucking clue what I'm going to do to them at task list. It's going to be horrendous to people. There is going to be so much shenanigans going on. There's going to be so much going on that the table is going to be a threat.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. Jody, if you want to learn how to deal with that list, stop going to the Legion of Peterborough. Come back to reality.
Just something fast as well. Get up in their face.
Yeah, land speeders, sniper vets, Vorax with biocorrosive rounds, shred them, hunting murder bots. That's what my Vorax are for killing artillery carriages. Greyed Out Productions. So Johnny from Sons of Heresy's been running some awesome air assault lists. Any thoughts on the viability of that for infantry-focused legions like Ultramarines and Alpha Legions? Well, yeah, they really, really benefit. I mean, Johnny's running Blood Angels, very infantry-focused. Big problem with infantry-focused armies is getting them to where they need to be.
Yeah.
And 2 Cestus assault rams. I got me when I saw Johnny said he was doing it. I was like, I'm not sure. I mean, I've had my air transports have been a bit after experience with the Storm Eagle, but I think you've got to be prepared for them going down. So you don't want to be transporting a Death Star in a flying transport, because if it goes down, if you've got a Primarch and boyfriends in there, it's probably only going to be the Primarch walking away from it.
Yep.
I think if you're going to do it, you've got to go balls deep as well.
You can have that when you stuck him in super heavy transports as well.
Yeah.
As I found out with my
Stormlord. It's the same thing. When that goes up, it goes up the same way. So, yeah, I think it's really viable. Storm Eagles. I know Tony at our club's currently running his Dark Angels with 2 Storm Eagles, but he's only got squads of vets in there, so if he does lose one, it's not the be-all and end-all. Yeah. And he's had some really good effect with it. I think pairs work quite well. If you're going to go air transport, you want pairs, because most people bring enough anti-air to deal with one flyer.
Yeah.
If you can get 2 on together, and you want something to manipulate the reserves, you want a Proteus
pairs
with a...
good, 3 spam, is it? Is that the way?
No, fucking 5 more. Take as many as you can. When the new Panoply of War came out, and they were like, you can take flyers from your own list, I was like, triple Storm Eagle. And I was like, no, they got 4 whole points, haven't they? Because the limit's 3. I did think triple Fire Raptor, and I did. Even I told myself off for that. But yeah, that was illegal as well. So yeah, definitely good. Is there any more questions, or is it? Can you do some classifieds? Evil Tab. Legion Javelin for sale. 1 careful owner. 31,000 miles on the history. Full service history. Will be on Heresy Trading soon. So yeah, buy some. Now I think the rest of these comments are just abuse at Pete and Tonka mainly, aren't they? So it's just generally. If you want to go and see what the Peterborough boys get up to on, just look at any comment on any Heresy post. They seem to be everywhere at the moment. So thank you all, guys. We've probably missed something. We'll probably find out we've missed something somewhere. But thank you all for your comments, questions. As always, if you've got questions, you can always drop us a message. If you want a load of shit advice, come and speak to me. If you want some decent advice, speak to Stu. You can get him on the Geno. Or if you want to make sure you actually get some decent advice, speak to him on Miniature Realms. And we're always happy to chat and answer questions.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's long enough. That was plenty of bullshit, wasn't it? So we shall roll out, guys, and go for a final break. Boom shakalaka! I don't know why I opened with that. It's fucking terrible. Right, hello everybody. I'm sober and I'm still fucking delirious by the end of this. I don't know if the other podcasts do it, but sitting down and doing it in one session, it's a long record, isn't it? But anyway, we're going to wrap up with a little closeout. As always, if you want events shouting out, send us a message, drop us this, that's fine. More quicker and easier way, post in our group. If you've got heresy events, heresy things going on, post in our
share.
group.
Don't need to ask. We don't mind people asking
if it's
us,
heresy
but
related, share it. If we don't like it, we will tell you and say that's not really what. But generally,
I can't imagine you sharing a group. I don't mind you sharing other other systems either. If you are linked to heresy, and you do heresy events, but you're also doing an extra thing, I'm not going to.
If heresy is part of a larger event, absolutely fine. Go for it.
We're not precious about you sharing.
Don't, if you start spamming your fucking YouTube blog in there every day about painting Primaris Marines, we'll probably say there's better places for it, but just share away and it's there. But the one to mention, we had got Callum from Tabletop Banter's event down to shout out, but he sold out today, I think.
He is.
But,
he might expand it, so it's probably worth.
So go check it out. Battle for Rendium Alpha at Firestorm Games. So it's 3 1750 point Centurion games.
Yeah, Sunday the 13th of May. And that was the other thing I was alluding to. A Sunday, which would be perfect.
Why can't I make it? It's after something else.
I've probably got the day free now, but it's Warhammer Fest, so I'll be entering Demon. So
it's Fest, isn't it? That's why. And I'm at the Ghoul I'm at the Ghoul Star event the weekend before, and I want to do Fest, so I'm going to be running out.
I've got 2 weeks off after that. I'm going away. It's my wife's birthday, so we always go overseas then as well. So I could have potentially gone if it wasn't Warhammer Fest, but he's sold out now anyway.
Yeah, but if you give him a shout. He's looking at expanding, and if you want to go, and I seriously suggest it'll be a fucking wicked event with Callum.
It depends on how big the reserve list get, because I'm pretty sure Firestorm have got the space to expand.
But he needs to know it's worth him doing it. So if you want to go and tell him you want to go, and make it a big event, because
he'll do a good job.
He is the nicest boy in Heresy.
He is,
and and I'm going to promise you, he will take you for a pie afterwards. Callum, you are now. Anybody who comes because of this show, you need to go to Pieminster with them. And have a pie with him, because pie. I'm not saying he'll buy you a pie.
I was going to say, just to clarify,
he'll take you for a pie.
He's a student. He can't afford to buy 30
the event
people
he's
pies.
putting on, £15 gets you your games and your hot lunch.
Yeah,
and I think
which might be a pie.
And I think he's even running the event at a loss, so that he is. I can't remember what he's making sure that everybody's walking away with more than £15 worth of stuff.
Yeah,
which is fucking wicked. So go and support him, because it will be an excellent event, and it will be narrative to the high hills. Knowing Callum, I mean, the man runs as many. He refuses to run tanks with his word bearers just so he can put more infantry on the table. We bumped into him at Warhammer World when we were playing the big game up there, and he got like 4,500 points worth of word bearers infantry.
Birthday,
and it was just like, I looked at him and was like, oh, for fuck's sake, Callum, that's just insane. It's like Warhammer Fantasy style. Looked like a diorama, because there was so much infantry.
Well, we both had good games.
Fucking wicked.
He's going to uni in Worcester. I think it'll be from September.
Yeah,
so he's going to be really close
boy.
to us as well. So he's
be a local boy.
Half an hour drive away. So
we can really corrupt him. So send us a message. There are shout outs, things like that. Share in our group. Shout them out. But apart from that, I think we're done.
We've got a YouTube.
Fuck me, YouTube. So you did tell me that.
Yeah.
You didn't put it in the notes, that's why.
No, there's nothing in the notes today. We kind of blagged it a bit.
We don't blag nothing, it was all planned and prepared.
There's a couple of things, but we've got lags, haven't we? Christmas is just kind of we just can't be bothered. We're not even drinking. It's because we're not drinking.
Well, normally by this point I've fallen asleep, so you're doing this bit and you're in charge. So we've got the YouTube channels up and running. The shows are going up there now. It's up to date.
Yes, it is. So I set up I set it up before Christmas as a second place really to upload the shows, just in case SoundCloud goes under and we don't lose everything immediately. But also give a different place for people who don't download podcasts on their mobile devices, but maybe watch stuff on YouTube. So that won't affect any of you guys probably, because you've already listened to this. So you obviously do use podcasts in other ways. But so we've started from episode 16, I believe. This is when we had the new recording kit. Yeah. We have put a little mini episode out introducing what we're all about. So people that have listened to the podcast but maybe not listened to the first show, might be worth just having a little listen to that.
We currently have 3 subscribers.
We do. Well, I'm one, and you're probably another.
I don't think I am.
You're not.
I don't think I'm subscribed.
I'm definitely one.
So we've had 2 views on one show.
Yeah.
2 views on another show.
We haven't told anyone basically. We've put them up there. We don't expect you guys to go.
6 views on the intro video.
Lovely. So Go over, subscribe. If you already listened to the show in other ways, you probably won't find much new content now, but Tom and I do
there will be videos,
putting video content
especially the stuff that I do for tasks and things like that. There will be more going up.
Well, once I've moved, I'm going to do a few painting videos, which I'm going to put on a Miniature Realms YouTube, but I'm also going to share them via the Geno as well. So they will go up there as well. So we're talking about doing the metals.
Yeah.
It's very hard to talk about it. So I'm going to do a little video.
Quick demonstration of it,
of how I do that metal process I was talking about earlier. So there will be other stuff that goes up there. We're not going to turn into a massive kind of YouTube type of thing, because
we'll be using it
those
to
have seen
supplement
as
the channel.
Tom and I don't have faces.
We got faces for radio.
Yeah, but there will be a little bit more than just the shows. But it's also somewhere else that you can listen to the show. So
if you can't listen to through your podcast app for some reason, maybe at work or something, you can grab the show there as well. But
that's the plan. So yeah, go and check it out for us.
Solid as my pants.
I'd wash them more if I were you, Tom. If they got to
that.
But
Throw them at the wall. When they stick, stop wearing them. Wear them again when they fall off.
Nice.
I think on that wonderful note, I think we should leave it for tonight. All from me.
Yeah, for me too. Catch you soon, guys.
Take it easy.